the smoke from the tar pit at Keenan Memorial Stadium as the Tar Heels get set for the Cavaliers of Virginia. Hi again, everybody. I'm Brad Nessler. Welcome to Chapel Hill, Carolina. Blue skies. It's a gorgeous day. It's a pretty darn good football team, too. Last year, 10-2 for Mac Brown's squad. The only losses to Florida State and to Virginia. They had the top defense in the country last year, and this one might be better.
Well, Brad, let me tell you how good it is. I think it may be the best defense in North Carolina since Dean stopped Michael Jordan. That's pretty good defense.
You don't win 877 games just with offense, right?
Well, this is how they do it. They got great players at each level. In the defensive line, Greg Ellis, the all-time sack leader in North Carolina history, and that includes Lawrence Taylor. And linebacker, they're rated the #1 linebacker group in college football, led by their All-American Brian Simmons, and probably the best pair of cornerbacks, All-American Dre Bly at the corner. Interestingly enough, Brad, all three of their All-Americans are going to be lined up to Virginia's left most of this game, so we might see a little bit of a conservative offense.
Just running the ball, you mean?
No, they're going to go to the right. They don't want to go left.
Nothing left wing.
Always right.
All right. Well, we know that this game last year was a killer for North Carolina. As I mentioned, they went 10-2, but they lost a game that could have put them in the Alliance Bowl. But the Tar Heels come into this one 3-0. Ranked 5th in the country. They have won 16 of their last 18 games and 8 straight here at home. Antoine Black is back deep. John Allen Roberts has got it teed up as Virginia won the toss and deferred. And from Chapel Hill and Keenan Stadium, we're underway. Kick is deep. Dominique Williams takes a knee, and North Carolina will work from its own 20-yard line. And let's check the Chili's starting lineup. The big uns up front. Hoffman, Gimbel. Saturday is the man that makes all the calls. He's a returning all-ACC performer. Stevens and Brown at the wideout spot. Sometimes they'll play 4 wides. Algie Crumpler is the tight end. In the backfield, Dyer the fullback. Linton at the tailback spot. And Oscar Davenport gets the start today, though we will see 2 quarterbacks, Davenport and Chris Keldorf, as well as we go. First down, North Carolina from its own 20-yard line. And it's Linton. Got about 2.5 against a tough Virginia defense. Not what it was a year ago, but you don't lose all those NFL draft choices and expect to be. Griffiths, Shivers, Dingle, and Kearney, the 4 up front. The linebackers young, but they're getting better. Thweet and Green trying to take the spots of those 2 #1 picks. Rainier is inside. Stukes, Poindexter, Phelan, and Williams in the secondary. And Poindexter's a guy that'll take your head off. Almost 100 tackles a year ago. Top defensive back in that category in the Atlantic Coast Conference. On second and long, Davenport has it tipped in the air and incomplete. Looked like Shivers got a hand on it up front.
Shivers is a defensive tackle for this football team, and that's really the strength of Virginia. And the offensive line for North Carolina must contain the inside pass rush from Virginia. On the other side, North Carolina is going to come with a lot of wide receivers, and they're going to have depth in that secondary for the Virginia defense to control this powerful North Carolina offense.
Well, you talked about Dean Smith. Now we got the 4 corners. I mean,
4-corner offense,
yeah.
huh? You can do that?
You can do that. Here's the 4 wideouts for North Carolina, and 3rd down and 8. Davenport steps up, rifles it. Almost caught and then almost intercepted. Pass intended for L.C. Stevens, and Dwayne Stukes almost picked it off. North Carolina has had trouble in the first quarter this year offensively.
I'd say so. When you throw a 0 out there in the first quarter, and they've trailed in 3 games.
You know, they didn't score against Virginia in the first quarter last year in their game. So we're just 51 seconds in, and we've already got a punt. Brian Schmitz. I hate to make another basketball reference, but he wears 23 because of Michael Jordan. I would have thought guys would be fighting over that jersey.
His dad must be rich to get that number.
It's a wobbly kick. But it does take a North Carolina bounce. And rolls down to the 31-yard line. 47-yard kick. Brian got out of it with the roll. And as we take a look at the Chili's starting lineup for the Cavaliers of Virginia. Up front, Karczewski, Lamontagne, Link, Shimon, and Williams. The wide receivers, Brian Owen, Jerwin Crowell, and Casey Crawford's the tight end. Crowell led the ACC in yards receiving per catch last year. Brooks, Jones, and Kirby. Aaron Brooks at times can be a bit erratic, but he is exciting at that quarterback spot. He's got his team at the 31-yard line, first down. Here's the give to Thomas Jones, and he goes out to the 34-yard line. Got about 3 against the number 2 defense right now in college football. Here's the group that Gary talked about: Ellis and Pringley at the defensive end spots, Holiday and Davis at the inside tackles. The group of linebackers you'll see 4 today: Newman, Mays, and Simmons start the game. We'll also see Spoon come in there. Bly and Williams on the corners. Greg Williams and Omar Brown are the safeties. Dre Bly, of course, as most of you know, led all of college football in interceptions last year. They sort of stay away from him right now. 2nd down and 7. Carolina shows blitz. They bring it. And it's a throwback screen, and it was almost intercepted by the defensive end, Mike Pringley. Wow. That could have been a disaster.
No scoring in the first quarter would change quickly. Now, mutiny on the back, Captain Bly. I mean, you have to go at these corners for Virginia. You can't stay away from them all the game, and you must keep up front. You must keep that North Carolina defense. They're going to have 8 guys up there. They got to keep rotating them all game. That's their strength.
3rd and 7. Brooks rolling, trying to get away from the pressure. It comes with him, and he throws high and away, and it'll be a punting situation for Virginia. Simmons and Mays are putting the heat on Brooks.
I think that's one of the mistakes teams make, is they gear their offense so much to stay away the big play defenders for North Carolina that they shrink their offense down so much that they're easy to defend. I think Virginia should stay in the pocket, tell the biggins up front, as you call them, to block, and let's see if we can go at these guys.
Nay Brown is back waiting on Frank Rotella's punt. Brown and Dre Bly have alternated in that punt return spot for North Carolina. This is a nice kick. Brown's got a back pedal. Makes a good catch at the 17, trying to tightrope the sideline, and did. Got a decent return out to the 25-yard line after a 49-yard kick. So both teams have tried and had to punt. We'll see how Carolina does with their second position. North Carolina with a 1st down from its own 25-yard line. They'll keep it on the ground, and they're grounded immediately. Maurice Anderson makes the hit on Jonathan Linton.
Maurice Anderson is one of 3 defensive tackles that defensive coordinator Rick Lance said is really the strength of this football team. He said all 3 will play in the NFL, and when you lose the big Ferrier and Sharper a year ago, when they had their strength of their defense on the edges, now the strength is in the middle as you look at Rick.
And Rick's got a man down right now. Patrick Kearney, the defensive end, is shaken up on the play, so we might see one of those tackles move out to defensive end. Meanwhile, neither team doing anything on their offensive snaps so far. It's 2nd down and 10, North Carolina. Barnes and Peace, the wide receivers. Well, again running. Off right tackle goes Deion Dyer, the sophomore fullback, but he only got a couple.
One of the great things this Virginia defense does is stop the run. They're just as good as North Carolina. You'll see a double blitz here. It's a run blitz from the linebacker and the strong safety coming, forcing the play one way, and you know you've got good player linebackers. Sweet that time comes up, makes the stop, but it's a defense that is constructed to stop the run. And they've done very well the last 3 years, finishing 1st, 10th, and 16th in the country in stopping the run.
Carolina with a 3rd and 7. High snap. Davenport hauls it down and goes complete. Very close to the 1st down. I think he got it by about a foot to L.C. Stevens, his big target, 6'5". Number 5 was playing against number 5, but one guy out-leaped the other.
Who Rick Lance told us yesterday looks like his arm is alive as he's playing this year, and substituting for Chris Keldorf, the starter a year ago, who was unbelievable, the all-ACC quarterback.
Lively enough to be 72% completion, and he drills that one for about 8 yards out to Octavius Barnes. You talk about 4 great receivers. Barnes just another one in that group.
And Barnes is a senior who had a big game last year against against Virginia. Look at the timing on this slant pass. He knew he had an outside technique, but he still pressured the outside, made Stooks turn a bit, and then came in the slant area. It was off of play action. You could see the offense is put together very smoothly.
Linton, the tailback, on 2nd and a yard. Dyer offset to the near side. Linton, well, he had to pay for it. I think he got it as he got to the 45-yard line. Thweet with the tackle. Let's check in with Dean on the sideline.
Hey, tough news for Virginia right off the bat. Patrick Kearney, number 58, the defensive end, went out with the injury a moment ago. It's a sprained medial collateral. The trainer, Joe Geek, tells me he probably will not return today.
Kid that came to Virginia on a lacrosse scholarship.
Well, if they gave him a stick, he probably could play right now.
He could at least hit somebody back. They bring out the sticks from the far side. And what do we got, Jim Knight? It's pretty close, Jim. You might have to get down there and look at that thing.
Just short.
That much. That much. Dual backfield. Dyer's about 250 and Linton almost 230. And it's Davenport at 6'5" that goes straight ahead. You don't have to worry about the weight. Just use the height. But Carolina with a first down. Now at its 47-yard line. Dyer, the fullback, in motion. And a quick pass over the head of the intended receiver, Algie Crumpler. That one thrown behind him, and Algie didn't turn around quick enough.
When you lose two big-time linebackers like Ferrier and Sharper for Virginia a year ago, you got to replace them with someone. They like these guys. Byron Thweet, number 32, Donnie Green, 33, both freshmen. Both will be good football players, but this is still a lot of experience they have to make up from what they were a year ago, where they dominated on the edges of this defense with two outstanding, really, NFL linebackers.
Oscar Davenport, who came in when Keldorf went down last year and was the MVP in the bowl game. And the running has really been a struggle, really, for North Carolina the last couple of weeks. Rayner, the linebacker, makes a stop on Linton.
The penetration inside is what's blowing up this running game for North Carolina so much, and that's why they've had a lot of 3rd and longs. Mike Hobgood, number 61, is going to pull, but he really has to belly out deep around the penetration from those defensive tackles, and nothing is there. The play gets stuffed in the backfield, and again, another 3rd and long for Davenport.
Coming into this game, Linton had not had a loss on a carry this year. He's got 4 carries for 2 yards so far today against Virginia. 3rd and 10. From the gun. Davenport wanted to go deep, and now he's in deep trouble, and down he goes, sacked for about a 3-yard loss by Travis Griffith. Rayner, the linebacker, is there as well, and North Carolina's got to punt again.
Rayner comes from the middle right here as the 4th rusher. They're in a 3-man line. Actually, they bring 5 when you start to copy it, but Griffith gets them first, Rayner at the end of it, and it's one of those zone blitz principles, fire zone, whatever you want to call it. They bring 5 and play zone behind it.
Virginia's special teams have been over the years, and they got one. And it's picked up, and it's going to be a Virginia touchdown. Dwayne Stukes scores. Just like that, another block punt. It was Poindexter, I think, that blocked it, and Stukes did the rest.
I'm not sure if Schmitz even tried to punt this ball. I don't know if he dropped it or saw the block coming. It just looked, oh yes, Poindexter actually took it out of his hand before he hit the ball. That's an unbelievable block punt by Poindexter, one of the great players in college football. Poindexter took it mid-dribble, stole it to him. From his hand to his foot, he tipped it out. It looked odd from up here to begin with. When you see it on replay, it's a tremendous play.
John Allen Roberts' point after is good, and the crowd at Keenan Stadium is stunned by what has just happened. Anthony Poindexter and Dwayne Stukes.
Anthony Poindexter, he's probably called Poindexter saying, thanks for helping me out there.
That's right. You don't have to be a genius to know that was a brilliant play.
I've never seen one like that. I've never seen a guy take the ball right from the punter's hand before it got to his foot.
We'll take another look at it after the kick by John Allen Roberts. This one to the 1-yard line to Dominique Williams. Williams takes it straight up the hash mark and across the 25 to the 26.
Just in case you've never seen one before, here's what it looks like. Punter's got it. Doesn't seem like he's delaying too long. Poindexter, who has tremendous instincts, speed, has the whole package. Watch, just take it right out of his hand. Boom. Wow. The ball starts to rotate before the foot gets there. I thought he missed it when it first had on the kick. What a play. Stukes says thank you very much. ACC basketball took it right out of the dribble. Yeah. And according to plan, actually it was not the plan in this football game. Chris Keldorf is coming in the 3rd series. There was no designated plan for Chris to come in the 3rd series of this football game.
Here he is. 6'5" senior who was the ACC's #1 quarterback last year, and he goes up to Stevens, complete. And are they going to say incomplete? I thought he had control and had it knocked out of bounds, but they're going to say that he couldn't handle the pass, was bobbling it when he was hit.
Actually, Keldorf was late on this ball. Stevens ran a great hitch and go on that play to the outside. Keldorf comes back. He's got Stukes out there. He's got him right now. There's the pump. See, it took him too long from the pump to get the ball to the receiver, and that's what delayed it. And because he just left the Virginia defender kind of looking. The stop and go route to the outside. They had the big play.
Last year, 59% on his completions. And he'll throw on second down. Scans the field. Got a man wide open in May Brown. Brown into the secondary. All the way to the 41-yard line. Dwayne Stukes brought him down 34 yards off the arm of Keldorf.
Everybody who's ever played quarterback knows it's nice to come off the bench occasionally. A lot of the pressure is off. Nate Brown comes out, just a curl route, the easiest route in football. You put it in first, go down 10, stop by the fire hydrant. I'll hit you right there. Nate Brown gets it. Keldorf produces the big throw.
He can hit you with a long ball, as you see the numbers there. That one good for 33 to the 41, and a first down throw out to Stevens. And Stevens got about 6 to the 35. So Keldorf going right to work with his opportunity here. Remember, last year he was the man. He went all the way up to the Duke game where he suffered an ankle injury, and that brought on Oscar Davenport, who the previous season had been redshirted due to a knee injury. So both guys who are very close, as a matter of fact, and root for each other.
Well, they really have no choice. They're both here and they're going to be here. It's a tough situation. Usually only one guy can be the guy.
Second down, a long three. Still, the ground game is having a hard time getting going. A couple yards maybe for Dyer.
Poindexter is so quick to read the plays. He's playing free safety, and he's up at hitting those guys on the dive plays. Of course, we saw Poindexter have a coming out party 2 years ago against Florida State when Rick Lance inserted him as an extra linebacker. Now he's playing his normal position as a defensive back. He's beefed up from 190 to 220 pounds, and he is a prime-time player.
Third down and a yard. Fullback in motion, and Linton, he's going to get the first down to the 30. Not much, but good enough to move the sticks.
Mac Brown suffered with the so-called quarterback controversy for a couple weeks, but he said it's not a problem. We got two good players, and we're going to use them both. And so far today, Keldorf has the hot hand. Let's see where it goes from here with that hot hand.
Max says anybody that wants to call it a controversy doesn't know anything about football.
I think he's right. It's only a controversy on the internet and the call-in shows.
That's right. First down at the 30. Good-looking drive by North Carolina here. Keldorf, empty backfield, zips it out to his fullback Dyer, who just got planted by Thweet. Dyer's got to get up saying, I thought Thweety bird in that one. He got hit pretty good. Only about a 3-yard pickup.
Yeah, that's the good pass offenses in professional football and now in college football. It's really sinking into the college game, is to use your fullback in the passing game. That's really, in a nutshell, what the West Coast offense is to get your fullback out of the backfield, use your tight end to control the linebackers, and then your wide receivers will be able to open up in those seams behind those two players.
Second down and 7 on the 7th play of the Carolina drive. And this time there is some running room for Linton. He broke a tackle, got outside. And he's got it down to the 16-yard line. Wally Rayner made the stop, but he got 11.
Yeah. When your middle linebacker makes tackles 11 yards down the field, you know it was good blocking, and it was up front. Mike Gimbel, number 76, does a good job of blocking Shannon Taylor, end man on the line of scrimmage. And then Linton just turns it outside. He may not have the Leon Johnson game-breaking ability, but he gets you positive yards.
There's a guy that hauled him down, but not before he picked up the first down at the 16-yard line. Keldorf draw play. Dyer tripped up. First hit by Eligby. North Carolina in the Virginia red zone, where that's what they've done this year.
The red zone offense has become an offense in its own. It's a special period in practice now. You game plan it differently than the rest of your game plan, and it's an art in its own. Different pass patterns, different runs.
Second down and 7. Chris Keldorf has a look. Tar Heels at the 13-yard line of Virginia. No points on the board yet for the Tar Heels, but they're getting close. Litton's got it first and goal. Poindexter made the touchdown-saving tackle.
Keon Dyer has caught the football, and this time he's going to help sealing the backside. Number 38, the fullback, is going to chop the end man of the line of scrimmage, running the ball away. And when your fullback can make those blocks, that means you can run the counter-type plays inside like Johnny Linton is running right there.
So Carolina at the Virginia 5. Brown and Stevens, the wideouts, go out to the left side. High backfield. It's Linton, the second man through. And if he got a yard, he was very lucky. Shivers with a hit, and then he got help from Eligby again. Virginia defensively, when you look at what they've done with the red zone defense this year, they've been pretty successful.
Only two G's. You watch end man on Crumpler right here is the guy who misses his block. Does not get the cutoff from the outside. Tight end has to do more in this offense and catch balls.
Second and goal. May Brown in motion. They're going to run that way. And Linton stood up at the 5 again. And it was Phelan from the secondary, along with Rayner, the linebacker, who made the hit.
Brad, college football has changed so much. So many players can run. Watch Rainier right here, the middle linebacker. He comes around the outside to make the stop. When you want to run the ball east-west now, the linebackers are as fast as the backs. Great pursuit from that whole Virginia defense, and 2 straight run plays inside the 5. That's a tough 5 yards. As Welsh says, they get bigger and better every year. Watch the pick play to the outside. Virginia's in a zone defense, though.
Third and goal at the 5. Keldorf trying to get away. He's wrapped up.
Oh, that's going to be grounding, too.
An intentional grounding on top of it.
That's
and
a
it's
mistake.
Shannon Taylor who came in when Patrick Kearney, along with Antonio Dingle, who made the sack.
I think North Carolina expected man. This time it was zone. Keldorf went to throw the ball to his left. Nobody really open. He doesn't think that Dyer can get the ball and still score. Holds it for a second, and it's a sack and an intentional grounding.
Well, that takes it all the way back to the 19-yard line, which is where the field goal attempt or the snap will be made anyway.
That was pretty conservative play calling. They were successful running the ball from about the 30-yard line in. On first and second down, they tried to jam it in Virginia's end zone with run plays, and then they got caught in the 3rd and long. And Rick Lance was right. He outguessed Greg Davis, the offensive coordinator for North Carolina.
Josh McGee's hit a couple this year. This will be a 36-yard attempt. Put Carolina on the board, and he does. So an excellent drive that stalled down close to the Virginia goal line. They do get 3 points out of it. Late in the first quarter, Virginia 7, North Carolina 3. Carolina to kick.
He's right, though. ACC football, with the help of Florida State and television, has really come on.
Schmitz, who hit the field goal with a kick high and short. Antoine Harris will take it at the 9. Outside, found himself an alley. And he's all the way out to the 45-yard line. Good-looking return. 37 yards for Harris. Get to play with a lead, 7-3, as they start from the 46-yard line. Handoff, Jones is hit immediately.
8 North Carolina players are on top of Jones on that play. Now, the other 2 corners, they don't do anything but cover their man, so they're not going to ever be on one of those tackles. So that means 1 player that time was not in on the hit. He's probably watching from the naked on the play. That's how you're able to get stats like that.
15 straight. Second down and 10. Long count for Brooks. He will keep it on the ground. Jones, a little hesitation, and then cut outside. And there shows you the speed of the linebackers. That's Keith Newman. He's the only guy that's not up for the Butkus Award.
They have 4 linebackers on this team that basically share the playing time. This time Newman is right here. He'll attack that ball running as fast as the back. He probably was a high school back, so it probably doesn't make any difference. But they've got 4 guys that will rotate. Newman is replacing James Hamilton from a year ago in there as the starter, and he really was considered the 4th starter a year ago anyway.
Considered the best group of linebackers in college football. You're looking at them. Third down and 5, just on the Carolina side of the midfield stripe for Virginia. Brooks swings it out. Got a man wide open. Inside the 40 goes Anthony Southern. He paid the price, but he got it down to the 36. And a first down, Virginia. Aaron Brooks put up big numbers in the loss to Auburn in their opener. And here's Jones inside. Pretty good game this time. Almost 4 for Jones. Of course, when you're Thomas Jones, you're trying to take the place of a guy who's starting in the NFL on Sundays, and Tiki Barber. And when Tiki set most of the rushing records at Virginia, they talked to him about it, and he said, hey, it's not going to matter because this guy's going to break them anyway.
You know, Brad, what's amazing stat from 1996 for this Virginia offense, 1 out of every 3 plays was in the hands of Tiki Barber last year, pass or run. 33% of every plays was in his hands. So, I mean, they got him the ball every way they could.
What Virginia hasn't done today, nor have they tried, is get it to their wide receivers. At some point, as Gary said, they're going to have to pressure those Carolina corners a little bit. We'll wait till the second quarter. 7-3 right now, Virginia in front. Set to start the second quarter in Chapel Hill. Virginia leading North Carolina. A game dominated by North Carolina as far as how long they had the ball and how many plays they ran, but it doesn't matter much when you make the big plays on special teams, as Virginia did. Crowd trying to get into it for their defense. Virginia with a 2nd and 6 at the Carolina 32. Draw play. Jones walked right into it. As we mentioned, North Carolina dominated time of possession in the first quarter, but the block punt by Virginia has them the lead. And now they've got it 3rd and 8 at the Carolina 34. Brooks, plenty of time. Pump fake once. Now he's running for his life. Brooks up the sideline. He didn't get the first down.
He stepped out. I think he'd been better off doing the old NFL slide, diving for that. He really didn't know, Brooks did, where the first down marker was.
You don't want to run into Brandon Spoon, I'll tell you that much.
Coming out to the side, you're going to hear a big hit right here because it happens right in front of us.
Spoon's the guy that's got muscles on top of his muscles when you watch him out of practice. What'd you call him?
Well, he has muscles, then he's got bumps, and he's got bimps.
Bimps on his bumps.
Bimps on his bumps. Oh, that's big.
That's huge on him.
He got bimps. I just got bimps. See, that's a problem.
Here's a 46-yard field goal attempt.
This is more than a bimp. This is
pretty long. This is a bump. Did he get enough into it?
Oh, hooked it in there.
Yes, he did. John Allen Roberts from long distance. And Virginia tacks on 3. The Cavaliers, with less than a minute gone in the second quarter, add 3 to their advantage over the Tar Heels. Trying to help each other, the 2 Carolina quarterbacks.
Basically what they're doing is, what did you see on different reads? They have keys that they're telling each other what happened. Did guys go? Does it look like we saw on film? Are they doing things differently? That's how each quarterback can help each other.
It's going to be interesting to see who comes out to take the next few snaps.
Every time you don't think you have a quarterback controversy, the backup goes in there and does better than the starter.
John Allen Roberts to kick. He just hit the field goal. Williams from the 2. Williams goes out across the 25 to the 26 before Carolina snaps it on offense. Wow. Rice with that option attack of theirs. That's not the only team they're going to sneak up on, but I don't know if Texas was expecting that. Used to be in the same conference, no more. One of the officials.
Oh my gosh.
One of the officials
just dropped.
is just.
That's a dangerous situation there.
Yes, it is. I think it's Jim Knight, our referee.
It is. An absolute collapse.
And obviously all the trainers and staff have come out as quickly as possible. The ambulance is in the end zone to our right if needed.
We were just talking to him. He officiated our Clemson game last week before the game, and it was like he was shot.
Right before the snap, Jim Knight, veteran Atlantic Coast Conference referee. And I would assume we may see an emergency vehicle out here in a hurry. I have absolutely no idea, and obviously we're going to try to get a report on Jim when we come back in Chapel Hill. The scene at Keenan Stadium as our referee Jim Knight is being taken to the ambulance. His son is in the checkered shirt there. I think you can probably see has come out on the field, and they're about to load Jim into the ambulance. We really don't want to speculate on what the problem might be. Obviously, I guess you say maybe he had a heart attack, but at this point we know that some of Jim's other family members may be watching around the country and around the ACC. He's been an official as long as I can remember living in the South, and I think somebody in the truck told me it's 21 years now. Dan Hogue will put on the white cap and assume the responsibilities of our referee, and what must be going through his fellow officials' minds right now when just up here in the booth it's hard enough to concentrate on what is really sort of meaningless at this point. But we'll get an update on Jim Knight as soon as possible, and meanwhile on first down it's Linton out for about 3 yards. The score is 10-3 Virginia here. We're in the second quarter with 13.5 minutes remaining in the first half. And again, as the ambulance is about set to depart Keenan Stadium and head to the hospital, we send our best to Jim and his family. Second down and 7. Virginia jumps offside. It's Shannon Taylor who jumped in the neutral zone. And that would give the Tar Heels a free 5 yards. And the officials without the man they'd love to have in that huddle right now. Jim Knight, here's the call. Offside, Cavaliers. That'll make it a second down and short situation. Virginia's defense has been solid so far today. Their special team scored the touchdown. They've got a 46-yard field goal by John Allen Roberts, and they lead the number 5 team in the country by 7. Davenport the long handoff to Linton, and he did not get the first down, about a yard short. And with all the concern over our referee Jim Knight and sort of lost in the shuffle, we talked a little bit, Gary, so we've got to get back into the game at hand about the quarterback situation, and right now it's Davenport. It was Keldorf that led him down the field in their 2-quarterback system.
Brett, this is really when, even if you don't have a controversy, and I don't think there is, Mac Brown and the quarterbacks have handled it perfectly, there does become those questions. Even Mac Brown is questioning, what do I do if we don't get a first down here? Do I come back with Keldorf?
Power eye, now Robinson in motion out of that. They'll probably run left. They'll go straight up the middle. I don't know. I don't think so. Linton stood up right at the 35-yard line, which would put him a couple of feet short of the first down.
You can hear the crowd booing right now, and then it was a normal call, just a run up the middle, third and very short, but defense, I think it was Maurice Anderson this time, number 85, that made the stop. But again, Poindexter's falling on the pile every time. But again, now you start to turn around and look around and figure out what you do the next time you get the ball.
So it'll be Schmitz, who had one block today, set to kick. Thomas Jones, who was shaken up earlier, waiting on it. High snap. He got this one away. It's not a good punt. Boy, off the side of his foot, but it did get a tremendous bounce again. Boy, that's 2 today that he's at least had roll in the direction he would like it to go. He ends up with a 53-yard kick. 11-17 remaining. Virginia will come out now, take over at its own 13-yard line. Just outside the 12, actually, is Aaron Brooks. They'll bring him up. Womack will be the tailback in the Virginia I. Play action for Brooks. Has time, and he delivers it out to Crowell. And that's going to be close to a first down. He got about 9. Crowell was their big ball hitter last year, over 20 yards a catch, and led the ACC.
Crowell went up that time against the best there is in college football. Crowell has an advantage in his size, 6'4", 215. Gray Bly says there's no advantage when you're playing bump and run. I'm going to stick with you, but I think the game plan is solid for Virginia. Run the ball off the edges a bit, not wide, but off tackle, and you must sooner or later go against these bump and run guys. You can't take them, let them take you out of their offense.
All right, now they got a 2 tight end set in there on a second down and short. And spinning off and getting the first down is Antoine Womack. Freshman, a true freshman out of Hampton, Virginia. They said that they're very high on this kid. We didn't expect to see him quite this soon, although Thomas Jones was shaken up earlier in the ball game, and that may have rushed him into duty.
Antoine Womack may be a true freshman, but he's got a lot of skill. Turned down Penn State to go to Virginia. He's a 4'3", 40 guy, good size, and looks like Virginia's very healthy at tailback.
So a first down, Cavaliers. They'll give it to him again, and he breaks into the secondary. Oh, bouncing off tacklers. He's got about 14 before Omar Brown and Greg Williams finally bring him down.
Greg Williams meet Womack. Antoine Womack turned it up, and you can see that colleges across the land, Brad, are just blessed with running back after running back around now. I mean, that's just not a big concern anymore. A guy graduates, there's more people. The Virginia offensive line catches North Carolina in a stunt that time. Keith Newman ran himself right out of the play, and Womack made positive yards.
Just inside the 40. Virginia first down. Here he comes again on a counter, and he does a lot of the countering on his own. He's going to be close to another first down. Give him 9 more. And Womack, who was the all-time AAA rushing leader in Virginia high school history, is off to a great start here in this one. They'll bring to sticks. Maybe got more than 9. He got 10. First down.
10 and a quarter.
So 10-3 our score. And 9:34 left second quarter. Mack Brown's Tar Heels, always a tough game against Virginia.
See, I think the pass to Crowell opened up the offense a bit now. You can't just say, I'm going to let those 2 corners take me out, my wide receivers out of the game. It's like leaving your 2 bishops in the back of a chess game and say, we can't use these guys. I'm going to play with everything else.
Now Crowell right now on the sideline. His team's got a first down at midfield. And it's working. Keep going to it until somebody stops it, and this time they do. Has only about a yard gain that time for Womack. 10-3 here. Virginia with a lead in the ball, and a 2nd and 9 just in North Carolina territory. Womack, and here he goes. Inside the 40. Down to the 29-yard line. Omar Brown may have saved a touchdown. Well, we're seeing an emerging star wearing Carolina Navy and rather Virginia Navy and orange.
Well, this Carolina defense held Tiki Barber to his worst rushing day of the year, but this time good blocking on the outside by Krzyzewski, and then a nice block by the guard Fady Chamon that time, as Womack just ends up in the secondary again, and that is bad for North Carolina, and it's demoralizing for a defense that has been able to stop nearly everyone that's run the ball in the past couple of years.
Womack 51 and over 10 a carry. This time bounces off, cuts outside. Womack inside the 10. Tremendous run that time by Womack. You got to be a little bit winded.
Yeah, he ran right over Omar Brown that time. Omar Brown, the free safety, came up, thought he had a big crack at a young running back, and Womack said, hey, son, get out of my way. Isolation play. Here comes the safety. There goes the safety. Simmons says, who is this guy? Womack into the secondary, and what a drive for Virginia. People just don't do this to this North Carolina defense.
North Carolina was only giving up 67 yards a game on the ground. Womack's got 72 by himself. There's what Virginia's done this season in the red zone. They've got a deep trip in there right now with 1st and goal at the 8. Jones now is taking Womack's spot, and Brooks is going to call timeout. Down close. They don't want to blow an opportunity offensively here, so Aaron Brooks steps up, calls a timeout.
Today's edition of the Tar Heel Football Magazine
Heads to the sideline, and Virginia with the lead here with 7:36 left in the second quarter. 8th play of the drive for Virginia. 1st and goal. The give to Jones. Eluded one man in the backfield and got at least to the 5. Omar Brown stands him up there. It was a nifty little move in the backfield, though, to get back to the line of scrimmage, much less pick up 3.
2nd down from the 5-yard line, as North Carolina found out last time. Very tough to throw the ball and run the ball from 5, 6, 7 yards out against a good defense. I think you'll see a lot what the pros do on 2nd down. It's basically a passing down. Let's see if you can get Crowell matched up for a fade.
He's right now in the slot to the right side.
Right there.
Carolina thinks about a blitz. It's Jones again. Bounces his way to the 1. Simmons holding on for dear life, or he would have been in. So Jones, the fresh body, after Womack did most of the work to get him there. He gets him to the 1, and now they're going to bring in some extra beef. It's 3rd and goal.
And extra beef they have this year on this Virginia team. After a couple years of having no 300-pounders, they've got them strung across that offensive line, and so far they've been very effective in this game.
Washington the fullback, Jones the tailback. 3rd and goal, Virginia at the Carolina 1-yard line. Jones airborne, didn't get there. I think it was Kay Mays who met him in the air.
Well, that's who I saw. Kay Mays, middle linebacker. He's going to time his jump as Jones goes up. Actually, I think he was hit inside first by someone, one of the down defensive tackles. Then Kay Mays cleaned it up on the play.
Virginia will go for it on 4th and goal. Huge play coming up for both teams. They're only about a foot away from the end zone. Remember, Brooks is 6'4", too, the quarterback.
I like the quarterback sneak.
There it is. Did he make it? Yes. Touchdown, Virginia.
See what happens in that place is the linebacker lines up so deep, you just beat him to the spot. Nice call, George.
Cavaliers now are a point away from having the kind of lead that North Carolina had in this game last year.
Brooks, the 2nd successful quarterback sneak in the game so far. One was for a 1st down, and of course this one for 6 points.
Well, there's a 2nd touchdown scored against North Carolina, though one was on special teams, but not too many people score anything against that Carolina Blue defense. 17-3. A long ways to go, though. They've got 5:33 left in the half. John Allen Roberts for the point after. Got it. Good looking drive. Carolina now would like to put something together here before halftime. High kick and very short. Going to have to hustle to get to this one. Diving catch and the ball is loose. Scooped up by Virginia. They've got another touchdown. T.J. Williams scores. I said he'd have to hustle to get there.
And Dominic Wilkins tried to make a diving catch. The officials are huddling whether this ball is returnable, if it's a muff or anything, but this is just a fumble. I think this is a returnable ball.
Scooped up T.J. Williams after Dominic Williams fumbles, and he takes it the rest of the way. Special teams, how special can they get in one half?
I think they're going to bring it back to the spot and say you can't advance it.
It could be.
A muffed catch on the play, and that's the call.
Remember, that ball was never controlled. That's why the call is going to be made.
Right.
And that's what they're going to explain right now to George.
He did not have control. You're exactly right.
It was close when you watched it the first time, but when we got a chance to see the replay, we saw what the officials are going to call, in that he never really had the handle on that ball. So they're going to bring it back to the 19-yard line, and Virginia will have to earn whatever they get out of that special teams play. Out comes the Cavalier offense.
We continue to watch week after week, Brad. Special teams really change these games.
Oh, man. That Florida State Clemson game last week. We didn't think we could get any more big plays on special teams, but we've seen them today already. Jones cut back inside. Got down to the 13-yard line. Greg Williams with a tackle, and now Thomas Jones is fired up because Womack played so well.
See, tailback, if I'm going to have my choice and I'm a coach, I'd rather have a great competition at tailback with two guys than at quarterback with two guys, because you can get both of them psyched up. There's a lot of emotions in running the ball, and you can shuttle them in there and keep them fresh. Quarterback, you don't even have to be in shape to play quarterback.
Crowell matched up with Bly up at the top of your screen. At some point, will they go to him? They're going to keep it on the ground for now. Jones bounces off. Paid a double price there to get back to the line of scrimmage. Took about 3 hits. Hopgood Chittick hitting first, and then Greg Ellis. And now does Virginia go on top? 3rd down and about 5.
Well, that special teams play went from a disaster to just being a bad play if North Carolina can force a field goal here.
Boy, no kidding.
Virginia must challenge the corners for North Carolina.
Hawkins goes wide to the left, and Crowell will be the slot man again. Play action. Brooks throws and down to the 10, but not a first down. Anthony Southern lost his footing out there.
Brad, you know, last time Brooks made a great throw to the back. This time, not a very good throw, but it was bump and run to the outside. You got Crowell on Williams this time, but the fullback was so open. Brooks went to the right guy, but just didn't make a very good throw.
And now Virginia's going to take a timeout to talk about this 4th and 1. With 3:42 remaining in the half and a 2-touchdown lead. I guess Greg Ellis, one of the guys, along with Dre Bly, was sort of complaining that teams don't come their way anymore. They don't get their sacks. They don't get their interceptions. That's because of the respect factor that everybody's showing.
Well, he got all those sacks when Marcus Jones was playing on the other side a couple years ago. I think this is a good move by George Welch going for the 3 points here. You can't get a big turnover and come up with no points.
Roberts has already hit a couple. He's got his 3rd of the day. Right through the middle. So Virginia capitalizes on the muffed kickoff return by Dominique Williams and puts 3. Almost 58,000 looking on, and they are stunned by what Virginia has done to their 5th-ranked Tar Heels so far.
Might not come to the same.
Just about the same spot. Different return man this time. Antoine Black, and he got it out to the 28, maybe the 29-yard line. A little shoving after the play, but it's been the Virginia special teams. We said right before that first punt attempts by North Carolina that they've been special in the last 38 games. They blocked 12 punts. You make it 13 now. They blocked a punt for a touchdown that Stoops took in. It was Poindexter who blocked it. Then the fumble recovery that was scooped up, and they almost had a touchdown out of that. They ended up with a field goal from it. So 10 points from the Virginia special teams today, and you add that to the 88-yard drive, and Brooks capped it from a yard out with a quarterback sneak, and now it's shotgun time and 4 wide out time for Carolina. Here's Linton across the middle. Got about 5. We're probably going to see a different North Carolina setup now for quite a while here, Gary, not just in this quarter, but in the 3rd as well.
Yeah, they really went away from the running game a week ago against Maryland, and Davenport was very comfortable throwing the ball around, so I think they're going to give Davenport an opportunity to throw the ball down the field here.
4 wide out grouping. And he's going to go complete. Great catch. Nay Brown out of bounds at the 45. Boy, he's got nice hands.
Nay Brown is probably the best thinker as the wide receivers. He runs most of their option routes, a lot of their read routes. Very good at being able to find the opening in the zone.
First down, 3 wideouts to the right. They'll throw the screen back to Stevens the other way. Yeah, a little bit of a high delivery. Had a man out there trying to help block for him. Poindexter got over there to make the tackle along with Donnie Green.
Poindexter is really unfoolable so far in this football game. He seems to be going the right direction on every play. Virginia's playing a lot of zone, soft zone right now.
Second down, short 5, blitz coming. Davenport over the middle. Ooh, Nay Brown took a shot even though he didn't get his hands on the ball, as Wally Rayner let him have it.
Brad, you called it a blitz and you were half right. That ain't bad. Guy came from the outside, but Shannon Taylor, the defensive end, dropped. That's the fire zone blitz. The blitz with the zone behind it that really confused Davenport and made that throw not go exactly where he wanted to.
See, I'd have thrown to the wrong guy too then.
You're right. You watch Shannon Taylor, number 9, drop on that play. Even though they're blitzing at the top, Davenport's a little bit confused. It does nothing happen.
Here comes everybody on 3rd and 5. Got it to Nay Brown. He's got the first down to the 30. Rayner let Davenport have it after he let go, but it's a completion on a first down, North Carolina.
That was definitely Davenport's best throw. Rainier was right in his face, found Nay Brown, and got the first down on the play. Nay Brown is the first down guy that he'll be looking for in those situations.
So crisply, North Carolina moves it down the field. 1st and 10 at the Virginia 30. Davenport's got a lot of room in front of him. Here he goes. Davenport all the way to the 11.
Wow.
A shade over 6'4", and he runs a 4.5 40. You're going to see some of it right here.
Those are nice numbers. 6'4" and 4.5 together is tough to stop. This time again, Virginia blitzed and played zone, but they cannot handle the speed of Davenport in the no-huddle offense.
First down. Davenport sets and fires, completes it down to Stevens at the 5. L.C. Stevens with a grab, and it's 1st and goal, North Carolina, with 1:40 left in the half. Timeout with 1:35 left. Keldorf congratulates Davenport as he comes to the sideline. And the fans finally have something to cheer about. 65-yard drive in just a couple of minutes. And it is not 1st and goal. They can get a first down inside about the 2-foot line. So it's 2nd down and 4. They'd like the crowd to quiet down just a little bit in that end zone. Davenport, quick slant, almost intercepted. That one had a little bit too much on it. Intended for Octavius Barnes.
You're exactly right. This was, as you see, Davenport looking to his left. He sees the blitz, throws the quick slant, but puts a little bit too much juju on that one, and Barnes gets the catch.
So it's 3rd and 4 at the 5.
Look how deep the safeties are for deep in the end zone.
Davenport throws out of the backfield to Linton. Can he get to the stick? You bet he can. Touchdown. That was a good-looking drive. Carolina in the end zone for the first time today.
They ran a 2-minute drill with about 4 minutes to go in a half, and I think Rick Lance and Virginia is going to be upset about this. They were in a zone coverage, and there's no way a back should get outside the corner of your corner in that situation. They were playing for safety, and they didn't come up with the tackle.
Josh McGee, extra point is up and good. So in just a little over 2 minutes, North Carolina takes it into the Virginia end zone for the first time today.
Antoine Harris right here should have turned this ball in. I think it was him, number 26, to the outside. You see the help inside. Nobody's there. He forces him inside. The tackle could be made very easily by Thweet, number 32. Here's Harris to the outside. He has to force the play inside. Here's where his help is, coming from the inside. Gets beat outside. There's the breakdown in the defense. That play should not have scored.
Well, we'll give Nay Brown a little bit of credit for that block. And
Davis will told us yesterday that I can tell everything about my quarterback by just the type of questions I ask him. What did you see? Why did you do it? I can tell what he's thinking.
Says I can tell by their voice. I don't have to see them or look them in the eyes. This one 6 yards deep, and they won't return it. Antoine Harris takes a knee.
Virginia must be very careful. I think they should go into halftime, be happy with 20-10. I think you'll see draw Nothing fancy.
They show a 3 wide out look. Blitz is coming. It's going to be a quarterback draw. And Brooks got a couple.
Carolina has 2 timeouts left. Let's see if they use them and force a punt, because Virginia, I think, will be very conservative here. And I don't mean running to the right.
You got that whole voting thing going on, that whole political thing. 2nd down and 7 upcoming. The clock is running down near the 1-minute mark. If they stop them here, then you would assume the timeouts start to come. They come out in a regular set now with an I backfield on 2nd and 7. Jones is the tailback. He's the man that gets the call. And they stack him up, and now they'll probably take that timeout as he only got about a yard to the 24. And they are trying to call timeout, and they get it signaled with a 3rd down and almost 6 coming up. Huge 3rd down here for the Carolina defense if they're going to give it back to their offense. Brooks hit as he throws, and it's out of bounds. And boy, did he take a shot there. Mike Pringley, he's the man that put the hit on Brooks, and it is a punting situation.
Another one of those situations where the double teaming and the help on Greg Ellis lets Pringley go man-to-man on his side. He gets to the quarterback, and Virginia's very fortunate.
With Virginia passing there and having to go incomplete, it stopped the clock. Had they run, Carolina would have had to use its last timeout. This time they've got 1 to play with, and the punt from Rotella coming up.
He was very slow the first time he punted.
They're coming after him. They got close, but a pretty good kick. Fair catch taken at the 40 by Octavius Barnes. So North Carolina's got 22 seconds to work, and they've got a timeout to play with. That's not bad. 4 wide outs for Davenport. Throws back the other way, completes it to Stevens, about a 9-yard pickup. They're going to have to hustle. 14, 13.
They need to take a timeout. They're going to down the ball. I don't know what they're saving a timeout for now. That's a killer. That's a mental mistake by the coaching staff right there.
They put 3 wideouts to one direction, then tried to throw a little drag thing back to the other side. It didn't get them much.
You don't get a first down. And see, now with 6 seconds to go, they're forced to throw for the end zone anyway.
Tar Heels previous drive for the touchdown.
Virginia 1-1 coming into this one. They had a high-powered game, their opener, and lost to Auburn, and then came back and beat Richmond. So they come into this one 1-1. This is the latest they've started an ACC road swing in the history of the school, and there's what their schedule looks like.
And as tough as the ACC is this year, the 2 non-conference games against Auburn and Virginia Tech at the end of the year make a tough schedule for them.
Rifling a pass, Stevens gets out of bounds with 1 second left. So they've got time for a Hail Mary.
No, they're going to try
to kick it.
Yeah, that's going to be over 6 yards?
13 yards.
55-yarder.
First down, Carolina.
So Schmitz is going to get a chance.
See, that's where they're going to leave halftime with a timeout on the clock, on the board.
Brian Schmitz, he had a punt blocked in this game. If he hits this field goal, that'll make up for it, I think.
Be a great time to fake.
55-yard kick. Schmitz, not quite. Got close.
By a smidgen.
A smidgen short by Schmitz. But Carolina did get a late second quarter touchdown to make it a game, because George Welsh's club was in front 20-3. And they come this short of adding 3 on before halftime. At intermission, it's Virginia by 10. ABC Sports presentation of college football returning. 20-10, Virginia in front, just about set to start the 3rd quarter. Good news if you're a Cavalier fan. We got a lot better news right now in the field. Let's go to Dean Blevins.
You bet we do, and it's real good news for Jim Knight and his family and those who follow him. Apparently, we have 4 sources who have confirmed that Jim Knight, the referee who collapsed earlier, is breathing on his own and is in stable condition at the local hospital. Back to you guys. Super news.
Oh, I guess in 20 years, I guess, of covering college football, I've never heard anything that's better news. We were talking with Jim and Bill Booker, the linesman, before the game down on the field. They were kind of kidding around with us about last week's game.
Right. You always wonder, you start criticizing people. We had a couple calls at the end of the Clemson game. It was their crew, and they said, guys, you were right on. We appreciate it. Look forward to doing the game today, and they were ready to go.
Well, Jim, I don't know if you're stable enough to be watching, but we're glad you're with us.
Good luck, Coach.
Antoine Harris is back, waiting on Schmitz. Kick This one, though, will go to Terrence Wilkins at about the 2-yard line. Cuts back to the middle of the field. In some trouble, and down he goes. That's exactly the kind of play North Carolina special teams wanted to start this half with. A good special teams play of their own, and there is a flag down. And if it's an illegal block against Virginia, they're going to be in a serious hole to start things off. New referee in, Courtney Mulsey, the new referee with the call.
Personal foul on the kicking team.
Oop, that's not good for North Carolina special teams. Personal foul. So they walk it off 15 when they had them down near their own 12-yard line. This will take it out to the 27.
Mac Browns runs almost an NFL-type program here. Treats the guys great, very relaxed attitude, but he's not going to settle for those type of dumb penalties after the whistle.
Nope. Carolina brings Simmons up as if he may blitz. Brooks. Oh!
That was a fumble, too.
Newman, did he get it? Newman made the hit and almost made the scoop. I believe they're going to say he's down. That's one of those where Seinfeld goes, oh, Newman.
Carolina lined up in the Bear front right here. Here's Simmons. Here's Newman coming around the outside right here. Not a good matchup. Got a back blocking him, Charles Kirby, and he runs over Kirby and then runs over Brooks.
That ball they didn't say was loose, but it was awfully close.
It was close.
Second down, 16.
Carolina's misaligned.
Brooks going to go deep. Oh, he had a stop and go on, and his receiver Brian Owen stopped, and he went.
I just don't understand why they don't get the ball towards Crowell. They have to throw it to him. Very surprised that Carolina took that penalty. It would have been 3rd and 15. Now it's 2nd and 20.
We'll see if it comes back to haunt them. There's Crowell going out to match up with Robert Williams. 2nd down, 21 at the 16-yard line. Thinking blitz, Carolina. They come with it. Were they offside? Yes. Might have jumped in there too early.
No, LaMontagne lifted his hand up that time. The left guard, number 77, as Simmons was threatening his A gap.
And it's going to be 2nd and 26 if that's the case.
Good ball.
And it is.
On the offense. 5 yards. 2nd down.
You start getting K. Mays and Simmons up there, you get a little nervous.
Simmons 41 is right there. Here comes K. Mays behind him right there. That's a stunt. North Carolina was going to be in a zone blitz that time, bringing linebackers and only having 4 people playing zone behind it.
And now the Carolina faithful coming to life for the defense. 2nd and 26. They'll run it. Jones nailed at the line of scrimmage. Greg Ellis said hello. And now it's 3rd down and a mile.
Well, Virginia has a drive going, but it's in the wrong direction right now. Carolina has come out in the second half with much more intense, much more enthusiasm they did in the first half when they really were frankly sleepwalking out here.
Third down and 26. There's the 3rd down conversions today for Virginia, and there aren't a lot of 3rd and 26 in the book.
Now, and what you want to do is get out of this alive.
I think they're going to take a timeout. Some confusion. Aaron Brooks trying to get his linemen huddled around him.
I think what George was trying to say right there is let's get up at the line of scrimmage and snap the ball, because Carolina was having a tough time getting their people out.
There is a timeout taken by Virginia with 13:18 remaining. Back at Keenan Stadium with 13:18 to go in the 3rd quarter. If you've heard the noise level increase a little bit, it's like a giant cloud was lifted off this stadium, because moments ago they made the announcement that our referee who collapsed earlier, Jim Knight, has been revived. However, at Memorial Hospital, breathing on his own and stable. And when they made that announcement, it's like everybody said, hey, we got a game.
Let's have some fun.
3rd down and 26. Virginia in a not so fun spot at their own 11-yard line. Brooks wants to throw a screen. Does. It's not going to get much, though. Only to about the 15 to Ahmad Hawkins. Vonnie Holiday helped blow that play up. And Mays is the guy that had the sack that sort of started all this unraveling for Virginia on this offensive set.
Yeah, it was a matchup that he just overpowered the fullback on the play. There's nothing you can do that. Your fullback has to block their linebackers. You can't throw, and that's really the key to this North Carolina defense. As Dre Bly, I think, is back there now. They're going to put somebody who can make some plays.
Bly trying to get the crowd into it. Rotella to punt from his own goal line. A dangerous return man. Nice kick again. Rotella hangs one up. Bly waits on it, just scoops it at the 46 and tackled at the 49. Nice coverage by Stoops, the man that scored the first touchdown for Virginia. He says, nope, not today. You're not going to take one.
Did you see Bly just scoop that ball up?
He's got hands.
Ed is an athlete. That's why he can intercept passes. Caught it with his hands. Didn't use his chest.
Sort of snatched it out of midair. He's a good one.
Well, I know North Carolina would like to establish the running game, but it works so well. Go 4 wideouts. Might as well do it, huh?
They do it again, and they go complete on first down. Jason Peace. And Peace dropped the ball, but they blow it dead at the 42-yard line, about a yard short of a first down. Peace, another in the long list of excellent wide receivers. There's a guy that used to be a high school quarterback and a highly touted one over at Northern High School here in the Durham, here in the area at Durham, North Carolina. And they had to kind of sell him on the fact of being a wide receiver. He's turning into a good one.
Yeah, once he bought into it, he's really turned his game on.
Second and short. Davenport, plenty of time, running out of it, but running out of the pocket as well in the open field. Oscar Davenport down the left sideline, and Poindexter knocked him out of bounds.
He ran out of the pocket, and then he ran right out of his shoe. He did a Barry Sanders on that one.
You know what? He did that last week against Maryland. He needs some tighter laces.
Yeah, they got to get him 11.5 instead of a 12. Pocket breaks down here. I thought they could have got a sack right here. Runs out of the pocket. That's what the running quarterback can give you. And now the shoe just throws a shoe right there. It just keeps going. Yeah, he's definitely got to find a little tighter shoes.
Well, I got a little help on that one. He kind of got shoehorned by Stoops is what happened there. 18-yard scramble, though, and a first down inside the Virginia 25 for the Tar Heels. Davenport throws on the run, completes it out to Brown. Well, Nate did a nice job to hurdle one man, Joe Williams, and then he's unceremoniously taken out by Thweet. Maybe got a yard out of all of that.
That's really where the zone defense, remember earlier the touchdown, here's where the zone defense is going to help you just play the passing game and make a stop. Ball's completed, everybody in position. Here's the corner, here's the help inside, use the sideline, force him out of bounds that time. That's when you're using good zone defensive principles and forcing him to know where your help is.
Using that sideline as an extra defender over there. Ran him out, only about a half-yard gain. We'll call it 2nd and 10, in fact, at the 24 of the Cavaliers. Davenport loads twice, goes to the end zone, overshot everybody.
Guess who's back there, though?
Poindexter, one of them, intended for L.C. Stevens.
That time again, Virginia gambled and went with their fire zone look, Brad, where they brought 5 different defensive players and left the middle of the zone wide open. You'll see it, 3 down linemen, 2 linebackers are coming, and the middle of the field is wide open. Davenport does not recognize it, throws the ball down the sideline right into the teeth of the zone.
And it brings up 3rd and 10. Davenport's going to swing it out. Waiting for a block is Linton. He got it. But he stepped out of bounds before he got to the first down mark. They're going to mark this at the 18. I know he stepped out of bounds, and that's what the official's saying. He's just finding out now because he thought he got the first.
Joe Williams this time made the same mistake as earlier. He had help inside, as this is like a wide screen type play. Joe Williams going to come into your picture. He needed to turn the play in. You see he had help inside right there by Donnie Green.
Left foot.
He got blocked, and play gets a first, well, not a first down, but a chance to get a field goal try.
It'll be a 35-yard field goal attempt. They try to cut this game down to 7, and they do. Josh McGee with the field goal. So North Carolina first comes out stormed up on defense, and then Virginia holds and forces a field goal. We've got a good one going in Chapel Hill. It's 20-13. Beautiful Chapel Hill, North Carolina, where the Tar Heels trail Virginia 20-13 with 10:45 left third quarter. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, and Dean Blevins with you from Keenan Stadium. Terrence Wilkins and Antoine Harris waiting on Brian Schmidt's kick. It'll be Harris at the 6. And Antoine Harris out across the 20 to about the 22-yard line. That's where the Virginia offense will go to work. And now they don't have that big lead to work with, Gary. They're going to have to wake up on offense.
Well, one of the keys I thought in this football game was not going away from your offense and attacking really what North Carolina considers the strength of their defense, and that is their corners. You have a great receiver in Jermaine Crowell, and he's really being taken out of the game by the lack of throws his way. Only one his way in the game so far, and he's caught it for 9 yards.
You just trotted out toward our camera down at the bottom of your screen.
Got a very wide split.
First down at the 22.
Virginia only had 10 men on the field.
Brooks trying to throw a screen. It's picked up by Bly. It's a touchdown. A shovel pass, one of his 13 on the year. This one, as he did against Virginia last year, a touchdown on the interception, and we're a point away from being tied up. He had a 51-yarder against the Cavaliers for a score last year. And that one on the swipe has tied the game. Dre Bly, touchdown Carolina. 10:28 left in the third quarter. Remember last year when Virginia had its best fourth quarter in history to beat North Carolina? This guy's helping to Carolina to their best third quarter so far I think I've seen in a while.
Brad, when you're throwing against bump and run coverage, you have to be accurate. Brooks was not accurate on the throw, but there was a big reason, which we'll show you right after the kickoff.
Mets kick going to Harris at the 1. Antoine Harris. And he got out close to the 28-yard line. That's where Virginia will go back to work. What was the problem, Gary?
Virginia lines up. Remember, this is first down. They only have 10 men on the field. There should be a back right here blocking Keith Newman, this guy. Now watch the pressure that Brooks gets from Newman. Right in his face, tries to throw the ball outside to Brian Owen. The ball is thrown behind, and maybe the guy with the best hands on the field and the best athlete on the field, Dre Bly, comes up with it. 14 points in what, 17 seconds?
Ooh.
That'll change again.
Yeah, it will. That's his 13th career interception.
Tough enough to play this North Carolina defense with 11 guys to try to take him out with 10.
Of course, he's only played 16 college games.
That's right. That's pretty good.
First down, Virginia at its own 24.
Oh, they fumbled.
And it's scooped up by North Carolina. It's Newman. Keith Newman. The bottom's falling out of the Cavaliers sideline.
Keith Newman, number 9, is the linebacker. North Carolina shifted out of one front. He's right there. The ball gets snapped, and as Brooks tries to go for it, it gets kicked forward. It's like, hey, thank you very much. Turns outside, he's got Dre Bly this time as a blocker, but he's caught behind this time by Brian Owen. Wow.
They bring it back. Can't be advanced from where the ball landed, where he scooped it up, so they're going to bring it back to the 26-yard line. Well, that saved about 15 more yards, but it still gives North Carolina the ball at the 26. Again, the 4 wideout group. Davenport straight down the middle. Had it tipped. Wally Rayner got a hand on it. The middle linebacker dropped deep back there. Knocked it away. It'll be second down. Keith Newman's raised some havoc for Virginia today. And now the North Carolina offense trying to turn it into points.
Virginia's raising their own havoc right now. That's two. You cannot make those type of errors against a good defense. You can't make them against an average defense.
Right.
And this is one of the best in college football. The easiest pass you have in a quarterback center exchange.
Second down 10, high snap. Here's a draw play out of the shotgun. Linton spins and runs into Poindexter and Donnie Green. Remember last year North Carolina didn't score in the first quarter against Virginia, nor did they score in the fourth quarter, but Virginia had their best fourth quarter comeback ever. Well, it's a little bit different. As I said, this might be one of the best third quarters North Carolina's played. Of course, the third quarter is only 5.5 minutes old, but look what they have done to tie the game.
I really think North Carolina got a bad call on that fumble recovery. That was not a lateral. That was just extender exchange. They could have run with it.
3rd and 7. Davenport over the middle, found his man. Linton's going to have to break a tackle to get the first down. He's pretty close. Rayner and Poindexter are there again, and let's see where they spot this one. Right now the fans are saying go, go, go already. They think it's about a half-yard short.
It is a half-yard short. I think the way the momentum's going right now, Mack Brown is going to let him go for it.
Especially the way his defense has been playing. Here they come with the extra tight end and the fullback.
Remember, the inside, the tackles for Virginia are their best football players. If you want to run that quarterback sneak, you're running right into the teeth of that defense.
Dyer and Linton, dual backfield. Davenport straight ahead, driving. I think he got it.
He sure did.
And they come up shoving. Major pile up on a quarterback sneak. Jeff Saturday, that tough throwback center, was the guy that led the way.
Yeah, Greg Davis said he'll play till he drops.
That's right. They got a Saturday on offense. They got a holiday on defense. If we get maybe a weekday or something else,
we got
everything.
And they got a bunch of guys that are going to play on Sunday.
That's right. First down at the 16-yard line. George is wearing that cap out right now.
Wow, he's taken it on and off 100 times, hasn't he?
8:23 left third quarter. Tie game. North Carolina trying to change that here. Dyer in motion. Davenport, quick throw out to his fullback, and he one-hopped it to him.
He had the pressure inside that time.
And now he's got another fight going on.
Brian Thweet that time came inside and got to Davenport before he could throw it. It's a bend on your knees type day. It's like he ran 2 miles already. And he's got a ways to go.
After you've seen as many ACC games as that man has, and he's won more in the ACC, 106 wins, 64 of them in ACC. Only Frank Howard at Clemson won more in conference play. Second down and 10. Davenport, draw play. Here comes the fullback. He's a load, takes it to the 9. Deion Dyer, sophomore out of Chesapeake, Virginia. And we've got a man down for the Cavaliers, and it's Donnie Green, the freshman. Donnie Green hops up and runs off. Got some big shoes to fill between Thweet and Donnie Green, with Ferrier and Sharper, the two great linebackers who were both high draft choices, gone now. And we didn't even mention John Harris, who came off that defensive front for Virginia. So when you lose 3 guys to the pros in the first 2 rounds, you know you've lost some people. Davenport on third down today. And he's got a 3rd and 4 here. Oscar's got time. Throws on the run. Touchdown. Algie Crumpler, the tight end. Extra point coming up as Carolina leads for the first time today, and they're up by 7. Josh McGee with the extra point. North Carolina's always had trouble against Virginia, and for the first time in almost 20 years, they put up 27 with 7:34 remaining in the third quarter. They have dominated 7.5 minutes of this quarter to take the lead.
Well, it hasn't been Virginia's defense that's really been crumbling. It's been Virginia's offense that has crumbled and changed the second half outcome here so far. You know, good defense sometimes. This time, look at this. I think it's Threet right here is going to stop the fullback coming out, Dyer. That's where Davenport wanted to go with the ball. Nobody there. Good coverage, so he scrambles out and actually throws the ball into a crowd here. A crowd where if he gets it picked off, everybody's saying, why did you make that throw? Poindexter, number 3, did not come up with it. Crumpler, number 82 in blue, did.
So with the lead, Carolina set to kick. And Schmitz, you can tell he's even excited. He blasts this kickoff. Almost went out of the end zone. So Virginia again will have to work from its own 20. 27-20 the score, North Carolina. Let's check in with Dean.
Carolina doing a good job of converting on third downs. And guys, you remember Greg Davis has spent a considerable time researching as the offensive coordinator for North Carolina the specific percentages of what it takes to win. He consulted some of the NFL people, and one of them was to convert at least 43% of the third down situations. The other one was to make 4 yards or more 48% of the time on first down and to win explosive plays. But they certainly are converting the big thirds.
And they've had some big explosions too in this third quarter. They've got the lead now. Now that defense can pin its ears back and start to play with an advantage for the first time today. Brooks to throw, overshot his intended receiver. It was Anthony Southern, the running back, and he was covered out there by K. Mays. Mays, one of the many linebackers North Carolina has. They've got a couple of freshmen. We're out watching these guys in practice the other day. They all seem to be built the same size. They all look like, I said, mini Lawrence Taylors, and then I realized they're maxi Lawrence Taylors. They're all huge.
Yeah. They got a couple freshmen. I think it's Hodge and Perry are the 2 guys that are going to be playing someday in the NFL also, and they're third string.
2nd and 10. Comes another linebacker. Spoon up close on the blitz. And maybe a yard on the run by Southern. This does allow North Carolina, doesn't Gare, to bring a little more pressure?
Oh, absolutely. When you talked about the game plan, Sparky and George both said we can't let the crowd get control of this game. We can't get behind. That's a lot of can'ts. What they need to do is look for their big players on offense and not worry about who's playing defense. You keep trying to hit that fullback. The linebackers match up on your fullback is just as good as the corners on your wide receivers.
You got 3 wideouts here. Crowell way up there to the top of your screen.
Right there, Crowell and Bly.
That's a nice matchup. Crowell's got the height advantage, but let's see if they go that way. It's Brooks out of the pocket. He wanted to go that way. Now decides to run, and he only got about 4 and then got nailed. Russell Davis, a tackle, ran him down from
Brian
behind.
Simmons, though, refused to be faked out on that play also and almost grabbed the ball away from Brooks. You know, you try to go to Crowell. Simmons, number 41, is in the middle of your screen right there, and he's just mirroring Brooks. As he comes out, Brooks tries to put a move on him, but he almost steals the ball. Very fortunate that there wasn't another turnover in that play.
You're right. Frank Rotella, the punt. Ray Bly leading cheers on the other end, waiting on it. He already has a touchdown today on an interception return of 17 yards.
Ray Bly is back there again, too, and he is sweet.
Second time that Bly's had an interception return for a score in the last 2 years against Virginia. This one he has to fair catch because it goes out of bounds.
Hey, roughing the kicker, though.
Penalty marker down.
5 yards. Running into the kicker on the defensive team. Still 4th down.
It's still 4th down. It was
running
4th and about 5.5. Quentin Savage this time tries to lay off, but hits the kicker right on his down leg, which is really when you can get hurt when you hit your bottom leg. But it's 4th in inches here, and with the score and the way things are going right now, you got to look at George Welsh and say, what are you going to do here? Because do you go for it, try to pick up the first down and give Carolina the ball back, or do you try to punt the ball? I think at least they'll try to draw him off sides.
Give it a try anyway.
Yep.
4th down, inches from the 30. They are going to try it. I don't know. Brooks on second effort got it.
He did.
He didn't get it the first lunge, that's for sure.
Actually, Anthony Southern that time, the back, is the guy who pushed Brooks over because the first plunge didn't make it.
First down, Virginia with a gamble in their own territory. Watch the second effort by Brooks.
Also, watch number 25 come from behind and push Brooks. Here he is right here. Now watch the push. Here you go. Oop, yep, there you go.
Isn't that aiding and abetting?
That's more than that.
Yeah. He'll take it. And it's a first down just outside the 30. Under 5.5 minutes to play third quarter from Keenan Stadium. 27-20, North Carolina in front. Nice move in the backfield by Womack. That was a great first step to avoid disaster back there, and he picked up about 4 yards. 5:09 remaining in the third quarter from Chapel Hill, North Carolina. And a second down at 6 coming up at the 35-yard line. Both wide receivers split to the right. They'll go the other way with a run. Womack ran into some serious traffic there. K. Mays and Vonnie Holliday met him head on.
The linebackers for North Carolina get all the credit and all the headlines, but those guys up front that are taking on the blockers. Vonnie Holliday that time took out a blocker, was there, and gave Womack nowhere to cut up. And then the linebackers are going to clean up and tackle you big time because they have such great athletic ability.
Virginia's been shut down in this third quarter. How about that?
Yeah.
11 plays, 11 yards.
That's pretty shut down.
Yeah, it is. That first down came moments ago. Now they've got third down and 6 to get another one. Movement on both sides. Play continues. And Southern dropped the ball. Flags down, but apparently didn't whistle it dead at the snap, which is what I thought was going to happen.
Offsides on the defense. 5 yards. Repeat third down.
Greg's getting itchy out there. He's a school record holder for career sacks. And when you pass guys like Lawrence Taylor and
Marcus Jones,
you know you've done your work. You got a little bit of a head start. He's one of those guys we were talking about 6'6", 270 for Greg. You look at their linebacking core, and it seems like they're all 6'4" or 6'5" and about 240 pounds.
Yeah, if you go across their front, they're 6'6", 6'5", 6'4", 6'5". And they all can run. There's probably not a guy out there that runs higher than a 4.8 40 on the defensive line.
Third down and a yard. Another short yardage situation for Virginia. Key to them to keep it alive here and try to get back even in the game. And they do get the first down. Nice effort by Womack, who's had a tremendous day as Thomas Jones started the game, and Womack came in, and he's given him some spark without a doubt.
Yeah, how good of a game has he had? This defense held Tiki Barber to just 79 yards rushing last year. That was the lowest of the regular season to Tiki Barber, and Womack has got to be close to that right now. He had 72 in the first half.
He's got 79.
There you go. That's close.
Yeah, you're talking 79s here. First down, 8th play of the Virginia drive. They've had to work this hard to get to their own 42-yard line. Brooks with a straight drop, and I can almost get a hand on that one. That was intended for Gary Danielson in the press box. Incomplete.
I've thrown a lot just like that. It's called the stress and press defense. Here I am, way up here.
There he is. He was open. You were open.
It was wide open. The stress comes from the front 7, and the press comes from the corners. And if you ever played in the NFL, you see it every Sunday.
Yep, he threw that one way out of bounds. Brings up second down and 10. .329 left third quarter. Brooks waiting in the pocket now, has to scramble out, and down he goes. Brandon Spoon after the pressure from K. Mays and Ebenezer Ekuban.
Ekuban is really the guy that chased him out of the pocket, but Brooks that time has to have a mental clock in his head. He knows he's facing the best pass rush in college football, probably Florida State, North Carolina. Pretty good protection. Feels the pressure, has to get rid of the ball. An incompletion is better than a sack against this North Carolina defense.
Virginia 2 of 9 on their third downs. Spoon with that sack now is forced to 3rd and 19. Spoon reminds me of Katzenmoyer a little bit.
Yeah, he does. Boy, that was mess up.
Fumble in the backfield. A throw complete. And out to the original line of scrimmage is about as far as Terrence Wilkins is going to get it. K. Mays made the stop. At least it gives him better field position from which to punt.
And you know what happened there? Because he had the sack, a play that would have picked up the first down just got you back to the regular line of scrimmage at the 1st and 10. So all in all, Brooks is the guy that put him behind the down and distance game and never could really overcome it.
Frank Rotella set to punt. They've been so close to him all day long.
And they really have, Brad, but I think that Bly would like to have a return type thing going now.
This time, not as deep. Bly has to call fair catch and slides in safe at the. So the Indiana-Wisconsin score. Texas has fought back, only trailing Rice by 3. We'll keep you abreast of all the scores. John and Todd will throughout the day. Here it's 27-20 North Carolina. Jonathan Linton on the swing pass has a first down. Out across the 40 to the 42-yard line. What Carolina hasn't been able to do today, running out of the backfield, they've been able to do with a swing pass. We've got a penalty marker down here, though, and it is a face mask, I believe, on the offense.
Nate Brown is a big-time receiver, but watch him right here come out and do a block. This is just really a sweep play to the outside. Brown is leading, long handoff. Now watch the block to the outside. Nice job. Good crease for Linton to get into, and then a face mask just makes it all for nothing. Holding on the offense. That must have been holding on the offense. Is that what he said?
I guess that's what it was.
He said face mask, but it had to have been holding. And that's one of the toughest penalties in college football because it's 10 yards from the spot of the foul.
That's all the way back to the 15-yard line. First down and 25 now. Backed up to the 15. Davenport out of the shotgun. Brown out to about the 18. Nate Brown, they use that little quick slant or quick pass to him several times today, and he gets up hobbling a little bit.
Carolina really hasn't gone deep with the ball. Maybe once all game. It was about a 25-yarder, but they really have not aired the ball out throughout the whole game.
Gary, the penalty really slowed down the tempo. They were in that 1-minute series where they get up tempo. Mack Brown calling that before the previous play, but the penalty really set them back.
Yeah, they sure did.
And they're still buried with a 2nd and 21. 4 wide out group. Here comes a blitz on Davenport. He steps in and rifles it to Stevens. Nice catch by Stevens out near the 34-yard line. Dwayne Stukes.
See, that's that zone blitz again, and this time Greg Davis, the coordinator, anticipated and threw the ball in the hole of the zone over the middle. Stevens comes across. There's no linebackers there because they blitzed. And pretty good coverage by Stukes that time, but that was the hole in the defense, and that's where Davenport put it. Nice call by Greg Davis, the coordinator.
That got him enough now to make 3rd down kind of manageable. 3rd and 6. Throw out complete. Forward progress. First down at the 40. Nate Brown again.
Yeah, I'll bet that's Nate Brown. He's the smartest receiver of all 4 of them. Knew exactly how far to go. He went right across the first down marker, stopped, and the ball was delivered right in front of Joe Williams. That's a big pickup. 1st and 25. You pick it up 3 straight throws. Nate Brown's at the top. Coming out, knows where the first down is, turns around, there's the ball, boom, first down.
And that's where they spot it right there at the 40. Here comes the blitz again. Davenport again. What a catch by Stevens. You know, you talked about Herman Moore earlier in the game, and because Crowell plays for Virginia, this guy's 6'5", too, and they kind of liken him to the receiver you see so much of up there in Detroit.
You bet. He just reached out and snatched it. And right now, Oscar Davenport is really in his game. He's putting the ball right there, right on target, has a feel for what's happening and throwing the ball, stepping into his throws, no lobs. That's what that shotgun. He's hit his last 5 passes.
Came in 72% completion coming into the game. From midfield. First down this time. He's going to roll and throw on a run. Nate Brown again. Out of bounds at the 44-yard line with a first. Talk about a guy that splashed into the Heisman spotlight in a hurry.
That's right.
First down, North Carolina. Ooh, that one could have been dangerous.
Well, and you know what? Davenport threw that one away on purpose that time. The defensive end peeled with the back, just threw it away and knew he didn't have anything else and threw it as fast as he could into the ground.
Oscar Davenport today, 30 passes. Keldorf came in for, Chris was in what, 1 series, I believe.
I think they're going to call North Carolina for blocking below the waist here, downfield.
Below the waist is the preliminary signal.
With 25 seconds left in the third quarter.
You can't come from outside of the formation as a wide receiver and block, crackback block below the knees.
Crackback block on the offense. 15 yards, previous spot.
So another big penalty.
Second down.
That's one of those safety calls in college football that's really helped the players. It used to be you couldn't crack back if the guy was turned and you hit him from behind, but now you can't block below the waist if you've aligned outside the formation as a wide receiver more than 3 yards.
So that gives.
Yeah, if they pick up this one, Georgia's not going to just throw the hat away. If they get another first down, Georgia's going to say,
different hat.
Different hat. Bring me a blue one.
His club had a big lead, and now they're down 27-20. First and 25 again. Well, they picked one up earlier. This time they'll run it. And Linton only got about 2.
Greg Davis is saying right now, calling the plays for Carolina. He says, God, I can't call a pass every play, can I?
Fans are kind of hoping he would.
That's right.
It's going to be the last play, too, of the quarter. As Greg looks on. Third quarter's come to a close. A third quarter that was owned and operated by the Tar Heels. They lead 27-20 now at the end of 3. ABC Sports presentation of college football return after this message in a Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, Dean Blevins back in Chapel Hill, a place that only used to be basketball country. It is not that way anymore.
Basketball will always be popular here, and they've had great teams for many, many years, but the football team in the last 10 years has really come up, and I think that Carolina will be seeing a national championship in the very near future under Mac Brown.
It's great to see that football has become just as popular and just as strong as basketball.
You can't say that Carolina sports is basketball, Dean Smith, whatever now. It's Mac Brown, it's Chris Kildorf, Oscar Davenport.
And it's 27-20 thanks to a tremendous third quarter by North Carolina. They have put football on the map here. They're 5th ranked in the country.
Wasn't she so politically correct? She named
both
Davenport and Kildorf.
And the coach. That's
She's
good.
listening.
Look at that. Total yardage by North Carolina over Virginia in that third quarter. Nice swing pass. And Linton ran over one man and gets down to about the 46-yard line. Joe Williams, a guy he just sort of trampled. Linton lost some weight in the last year. He played a lot of fullback last year. And he's down to about 228, down to 228. But you can still see the power on that one of his fullback type runs.
And I think he's going to be a fullback type player in the NFL. He's got good hands. He can get up, beef up a little bit to be a decent blocker, can catch the ball. He's got 5 of them today already.
Remember, they had a first and 25. They've again worked it back to something maybe they can pick up. 3rd and 13. Davenport scrambling around, spins, and down he goes. Nice pressure that time by the Cavalier defense. Olegby came in there. He got some heat, and then Shannon Taylor's the guy that tripped him up and finished him off right at midfield.
Well, Virginia may have survived the storm. I think those couple first downs they made, and this stop now puts it, and they look up at the clock, and I'm sure George Welsh is saying, hey, we were 17 points down last time we started fourth quarter against these guys before. It's only 7. And only got 1 hat left, so hurry up.
Schmidt's kick. Thomas Jones going to just get out of the way to the end zone. Did it make it? Yes, it did.
Touch the end zone.
Well, a nice effort down there by the North Carolina special teams. We're just 50 seconds into the fourth quarter in a 7-point game. Well, the Tar Heels have something to chew about now. They're only 14 minutes away from a win, but that's a long ways yet against Virginia, trailing by only 7. They've got it first down from their own 20-yard line. Here comes a blitz. It's Jones outside, and he broke a tackle, and he's still on his feet. Nice run by Thomas Jones, his best of the day, and he's got a first down out near the 35-yard line.
Thomas Jones is a true sophomore. Played last year behind Tiki Barber as a true freshman, obviously. Got himself also in better shape this year to play football, and his 38 yards rushing. Womack is stealing the headlines, but Jones is also showing that he has what it takes to be the featured back.
Jones picked up 15. First down. Play action for Brooks. Wants it all. Going down for Crowell, and he dropped it.
Oh, my.
It hit his hands. Robert Williams may have gotten a hand in his vision. Otherwise, that would have been a touchdown.
See, that's what I'm saying. You have to throw the ball up once in a while like that. I mean, Robert Williams is pretty good, but Crowell's pretty good, too. Throw it up. The guy's 6'5". Go up there, and he just flat out drops this one. It's right. Well, did he touch it?
Maybe he deflected it. I don't know.
Yes, he did. He did tip that ball. Robert Williams got the play. My mistake. I apologize, Mrs. Williams. Don't send the letters to me.
Well, he broke up more passes than anybody in the ACC last year.
And that one counted by a hangnail.
Yeah, it did. Brooks. Now he's coming for Brian Owen on the near side. Incomplete. That one didn't have a chance.
Bly is so sound in his coverage. Uses the sideline, just pushes him out of bounds. And I think Brian Owens have a tough time getting open against that coverage. I don't know why they're even looking that way.
All right, we got Paul Harvey on the sideline.
That's right.
Third down. Simmons thinking about a blitz. He backs out of it. Brooks now is going to try to run for it. I don't think he made it.
No, I think his knee touchdown about 1.5 yards short, really. See, because he's 6'5", and if you take his knee and you subtract that, that means it's 3.5 feet. That's
why he lost 1 yard.
That's right. See, if he was shorter, that might have been a first down. It don't work that way, though.
Fourth down. Punt coming up. Rotella. And Bly makes the fair catch. The reason Dean said that is because Curry was here for the Stanford game against North Carolina. So some people opened their eyes a little bit on that one. 7-point lead, North Carolina. 12:42 remaining. North Carolina with the lead and the ball here in the fourth quarter. And if you're just joining us and you saw Virginia jump out to the big lead thanks to their special teams, North Carolina came up with some special moments in the third quarter, including Dre Bly's 17-yard interception return for a touchdown. Davenport's thrown a touchdown pass in this half. And now they lead by 7. He throws on the run. Complete. Out to about the 33-yard line. Jason Peace this time.
Davenport, after a little bit of a slow start, is really starting to come on now. He's 22 for 31 for about 180 yards in this football game so far, and seems to be under control of the offense. And since he's gone back to the shotgun, Virginia has not been able to use that good rush defense, and the athletes at wide receiver, 4 of them, have made the difference in the game.
Second down and short. They're going to throw for this too. And incomplete, intended for Octavius Barnes. And Oscar's going to be slow to get up here. Maybe he's not going to get up here. He had hit his last 8 passes. That time he hit the deck.
I think Maurice Anderson and Johnny Shivers, number 99 and 85, did a little bit of a sandwich job on Davenport. He wanted to throw the ball short. Pretty good coverage. Goes deep and gets it right on his left leg.
Ouch.
And it was just, Shannon Taylor was the guy who really got the hit. Now, every time you think that the quarterback controversy is too much, when you have 2 of them, something like that happens, and that's exactly what Mac Brown told Chris Keldorf and told us he told him. He said, Chris, stay positive, because sooner or later, Oscar's going to sprain an ankle or a finger or something, and you're going to have to come through. And Keldorf, you never know as a quarterback when you're going to have to be ready, and Davenport looks like it hopefully is just a sprain.
Keldorf warming up. He'll be coming on as they bring Oscar Davenport off.
Oh, boy. Keldorf gives him a tap on the helmet, but Kay Mays carries him off, and that doesn't look good.
He's played brilliantly today. Now they do let him down, and he's walking on his own, but you can see the limp, obviously.
It's either the left knee or left ankle.
Meanwhile, on the field, 3rd down and 2. Keldorf, long count, maybe trying to draw him off, and now the toss to Linton's going to have to go some, and he got there. Needed to get to the 35, and he dives out to the 36. That's a first down, North Carolina. So now they'd like to use up that remaining 11:59 after they move the sticks.
It's the first time Crumpler that time, tight end, did a nice job of sealing off the end man. pulled the tackle around him and made the play. That's probably one of the most successful running plays North Carolina's had in this game, and it was a huge one. When you have a quarterback go down and still pick up a first down, that helps everybody concerned. And there is concern on the bench. Everybody's crowded around Davenport right now.
Keldorf at the controls. Not a first down. This is Linton. And he only got about a yard. Virginia pops him after a short gain. It'll be 2nd and 9. And the clock winding its way toward the 11-minute mark as they work on Oscar Davenport.
Gain of a yard to the 37.
Virginia has used one of its timeouts in this half. And that could be a key ingredient late in this fourth quarter. 2nd down, a long 8. We might see Chris Keldorf's first pass attempt since the first half. Nope, they'll keep it on the ground. Flea flicker. He will throw it. Got a man open. Did he get enough on it? And now there's going to be interference on Poindexter. That was for Nay Brown. It was way underthrown.
Yeah, but it's only a 15-yard penalty in college ball, and it's better than a touchdown. Poindexter got the interference. You know what happened on that play, Brad? Nay Brown didn't delay enough, and he was so open that Keldorf rushed the throw. If Nay Brown, who's right in the slot right here, would have waited just a little longer, he starts running. Keldorf knows, hey, I got to throw this ball 70 yards. He lets it go before he gets a good grip on it. He throws it about 45, and Poindexter runs in, and it's just a 15-yard mess. If Nay Brown would have just taken his time a little bit longer, sold the play, Keldorf could have gripped the ball and really made the good long throw, because he can throw it about 75 yards when he has to.
And so now it's a first down at the 47-yard line.
I don't know if that's exactly what happened, but that's the excuse I used to give when I used to throw one of those ducks on those one things. I think that's really exactly what happened in that play.
I know one thing. Once he got the lateral back from Linton, he was probably trying to find some threads to get rid of that thing.
He saw Brown open and had 6 points all in his mind.
Dyer, only about a half yard. Let's check in with Dean.
Well, the word on Oscar Davenport is a twisted left knee, and they said, well, they'll see how it feels if he goes back in. It's hard to tell by looking at him down here, but it was a twist. He took a hit from the outside of the knee.
It's amazing because it's exactly what Gary said that Mac Brown said to us the other day. He said, Chris, at some point, he's either going to sprain an ankle or there'll be a twisted knee or something. And he actually used the term twisted knee, and prophetically and ironically enough, that's what's happened here. But he's got a good one in Keldorf, who's back to throw. Flares it out Linton. That's been their running game today.
It really has. Oscar Davenport on a very innocent looking play, trying to throw what they call a smash route to the outside. Not massive pressure, but takes a guy right on his knee who's actually being blocked into him that time. I think it was Mike Gimbel blocked this man right, Shannon Taylor, right into him, because Taylor really didn't have much of a pass rush going.
3rd down. Virginia needs a stop. 3rd and 4. And North Carolina's got to take a timeout. Mac Brown walks out and signals his quarterback. Says this is too important. Better get over here and talk about it with 10.
Well, right now, George Welsh would like to come back from 7.
Yep. There's what North Carolina in the 4 to 9 yard 3rd down situations today have done, and they've got another one here. 3rd and 4. Keldorf hit, throws, his fullback had his hands on it, couldn't hold it.
That should have been interference. Absolutely should have been interference.
Keldorf showed his strength by holding up and getting rid of that pass.
Travis Griffith, I think number 95, had Keldorf wrapped up, but Keldorf weighs 230 pounds. And there was interference all over. I think Thweet was all over that time. Deion Dyer. The officials held their ground, though, because every North Carolina player and coach was in his ear, and he would not call it.
So it's a punting situation. Don't forget, the Fighting Irish and the Wolverines will be following us. Brian Schmitz would like to pin one inside the 10-yard line here against Virginia. He hit it a mile in the air. A little bit too deep, though. So touchback.
That ends up being a 22-yard punt.
Yeah,
I'm sure Mac's not going to be happy with that.
That's not really worth it, is it?
No.
He didn't get to see Ricky do all that good stuff a couple weeks ago.
Surprisingly, they need all 5 of his touchdowns.
Breaking free. The ball is loose, and North Carolina's got it. It's Keith Newman again.
I think Brian Simmons knocked it away, and Newman ended up with it. Antoine Womack, the young freshman, made his first mistake.
He's been special all day long, but that one had it stripped from him.
You see Simmons come from the left side of the screen, pops his arm, and the All-American makes a play, and Newman's in the right spot again. What a play.
What a brilliant half by this Carolina blue-clad defense.
You know, a year ago, Virginia was very unhappy. They had 35 giveaways, and they've had 3 horrible giveaways here in the second half of this game that's really going to cost them the game if they do lose.
Still almost 10 minutes left, and you see the anguish of Womack, the freshman, who dropped the ball. Linton hit in the backfield, bounces off, and somehow got 2 out of that. Rayner hit him. He spun away.
I think Byron Threet, number 32, the freshman, is going to be a tremendous football player before he's through at Virginia. He just is all over the field, disrupting, covering players. He was in on that play also. He made the initial hit before it was cleaned up, and he's almost unblockable out there. And, you know, they're a lot different than they used to be, Brad. I mean, 230-pound freshman. He runs like the wind.
2nd down and 8. There's what North Carolina's done in Virginia's red zone today. They've made them all count. 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals. Here's Linton heading outside. Jonathan tiptoes the sideline, and he's got it. 1st and goal. Boy, I thought he was running out of real estate over there, and suddenly put the brakes on and tiptoed down the sideline for 13 yards.
Brad, to play good defense, you have to know where your help is. Dwayne Stukes, the corner this time, again, does not realize that he has help. He's got Poindexter on the inside. Watch from the right side of your screen. Stukes gets caught inside, Linton gets outside, and everybody else that could have helped him on the corner wasn't able to. A positive play that should have been nothing on the play. It was well defensed. The corner, this time it was Stukes, made the miscue.
1st and goal at the 4. The toss. Sweep to Linton's going to have to really work for this one.
Wow, he did, didn't he?
He did, and he got close. He almost got in. I thought that was going to be about a 2-yard loss, and he turned it into a gain.
Shannon Taylor at the top of the screen got held this time. He did by the big fullback that time, Kirby.
With the sleeper hold.
He sure did. Thweed ended up with the tackle again, but I thought there was holding at the end man of line of scrimmage.
Yeah, now they spotted inside the 1.
You said it right, though, Brad. Linton wanted that goal on that time.
Well, he's helped to get him here, and you kind of doubt that it'll be anybody other than 27 that'll get it. Nope, it's Keldor.
Whoa.
Touchdown. My, how Carolina has turned this game around.
Well, let me rephrase it. My, how Virginia's offense has turned this game around with giveaways.
That's true. Keldorf, the big fella, as Gary said, he bowls his way in there.
When you can put your knees in the end zone on a quarterback sneak, you know the offensive line did a good job getting that push.
Josh McGee for the point after. It is 34-20 in a game that once was all George Welsh and Virginia. Now Carolina with a 2-touchdown advantage. This game was once 20-3 Virginia. 7:51 left, 4th quarter, as Carolina's put up 31 unanswered. And as Gary said, they got a lot of help from turnover.
That's kind of how it goes. You know, when you're the favorite team, they're called unforced errors. But if you're an underdog and you make those mistakes against this kind of team, you're in for a rout.
Carolina came in ranked 5th in the country. They've won 8 straight here, trying to make it 9 in a row at Keenan Stadium. And the tar pit's getting a little bit gooey if you're a Cavalier fan right now, because there's only 7:51 left and they're down by 2 touchdowns.
And watch that Carolina pass rush become a huge factor now.
High short kick again. Little indecision back there on who's going to take it. The man that did probably wishes he hadn't, but fielded it well. That's Pat Washington.
Yeah, at least get his name called, right? That's probably why he did it. On TV.
Got out to about the 26-yard line. That's where they'll spot it down. So Brooks comes out. Now he's got to start thinking about Crowell. They should have thought about him maybe all day long.
I believe you're right. That's the best matchup on the field, I think, for Virginia. They just haven't gone their way.
If he has time to throw it to him. That could be a question mark, too.
Whoa, quarterback draw.
Brooks in the open field looking for a block. Got one. And got it out to the 34. Picked up about 8 and flags all over the place.
Block in the back, above the waist, on the offense. 10 yards.
It might have been the block on Dre Bly who was trying to make the tackle. I don't know.
As you say, it's getting gooier.
A smile of sarcasm, obviously, on George Welsh's face. He didn't like the call.
Of course, George's 3 new offensive coaches on this team this year. Tom O'Brien left. Head coach at Boston College. Sparky Woods is now making the calls. They've had remarkable success, this Virginia team, in their offense over the years.
Throw it over the middle, now to the 30. That's it, though. Terrence Wilkins. Greg Williams made the tackle. And the lonely end, is that what they used to call it?
That's right. He's pretty lonely today. He's going to say, guys, have you seen my draft rating?
Do you know how big I am and how fast I run? Averaged over 20 yards a catch last year. That led the ACC. Came in the top receiver with 9 catches and averaging over 16 through 2 games, but only 2 catches for him today. Brooks in trouble. Down he goes. Vonnie Holliday on a Saturday. To him, every day's a holiday.
The North Carolina defense is distorting the pass routes for Virginia. The bump and run. Brooks comes back. There's no one to throw to. He has to turn it down. Holliday beats his man cleanly. 5-step drop. You can take a 3-step drop. There's no one to throw to, and that's really what the bump and run does to you. It makes you try pick routes. It makes you try little people coming across the formation. What they need to do is throw the ball outside and say, my guy's as good as yours. Let me throw it. Uh-oh.
Ellis this time nails him. He got the pass to Jones, and Jones is buried at about the line of scrimmage.
Ellis's eyes probably were as big as saucers that time. He's finally going to get a chance to get a sack, and there's a screen on the play.
The defense has dominated for North Carolina in this half. Came in ranked 2nd in the country in defense.
Just have the feeling that there's going to be a cherry on the top of this at any moment. Either a block punt or Bly's going to take one.
They got close again, but he goes down again. It was tipped, though, so there'll be no roughing the kicker.
Boy, I wonder if he must have just grazed it, because he still punted it, what, 35 to 36 yards?
Yep. The referee made the call immediately that the ball was tipped. Let's check in with Dean on the sideline.
Brad, Oscar Davenport behind me, the quarterback. In fact, he's right in front of her. Excuse me, miss. Can you scoot over? He will not return today. You see the left knee wrapped up. It's the same knee that he tore up 2 years ago, an ACL. It's not definitive exactly what the problem is, but what is definitive is he will not return today.
And I like how Dean was his own producer on the sideline, or director. That was good. Now Keldorf at the controls, and right now Carolina would like to just put a running game together and start to ice this thing away. They're up by 14 with a little over 5 to go as Mike Geter carried the ball.
Brad, you know, an injury, and I had a bunch of them playing, is now never was a big deal until you injure the same thing again. Then it scares you, because you go, you know, I've already gone through this. It feels exactly like it did before, and it cost me a whole year. So it may be a sprain, but right now Davenport's going, Oh, boy.
Not again.
Not again.
Clock stopped here with 5:12 as the officials have a confab. While they do, you wonder what turned this game around. Remember back to the third quarter in this game that might have been actually the turning point. The key play, as Gary said, only 10 guys out on the field for Virginia. The heavy pressure coming from Newman. They tried the pass to Brian Owen. Dre Bly took it 17 yards. North Carolina touchdown. That turned the whole thing around, it seemed.
And it was particularly inexcusable because it was a first down play. That's something that should be, you can go in no time. You know, you have plenty of time to get the guys together on the sideline. Quarterback's job to look around and make sure he has 10 other guys on the field.
Mack Brown not breathing too easily yet, but certainly closer to it. Under 5 minutes to go. Now the Virginia defenders pointing at the offensive line of North Carolina, and they're doing likewise back the other way. So we'll let Courtney Mawsey make the call.
Offsides on the 5 yards.
Courtney Mawsey's taken over in the second half as our referee. He was home watching the game on TV when Jim Knight, our referee that collapsed in the first half, went down. And so Courtney's taken over. Got over here during halftime and has taken over as our referee. And again, to the folks that watched and hoped and prayed with us and Jim and his family, Jim is at Memorial Hospital, breathing on his own and stable after that collapse in the first half. It's the best news we've had in I don't know how many years.
You know, I guess if something bad has to happen, this isn't a bad place for it to happen. I mean, the medical people are here. The emergency ambulance was here. If you happen to by yourself somewhere, there's no hope.
Well, I know who our most valuable players are today. That's for sure. And they're not those guys right over there that are with the ambulance and the EMS staff, because they were out there in force today.
May have saved a life.
Boy. Third down 5 as we approach 4 minutes. North Carolina picks up a first down here, and it would be a tough struggle. As if it's not now. And Keldorf's going deep. Got a man out there. Got him. Touchdown, Octavius Barnes. 50 yards right on the money.
And there's the cherry on top that I was talking about. Came from the offense. He split Joe Willems and Stephen Phelan right between it. And Keldorf showed why some people consider him maybe the second or third best quarterback coming out this year, as he put the long ball right in the basket.
That's why you have two good quarterbacks. Josh McGee for the point after in what is obviously going to be a North Carolina victory. 55 yards in 3 plays for the Carolina offense. McGee's extra point makes it 41-20. This is the largest comeback for a win in North Carolina history. And they have stormed the second half. 3:51. Back in Chapel Hill, where North Carolina's taken over control of this football game. 41-20. And the hookup Keldorf to Octavius Barnes. Octavius was listening to the tunes this morning on his CD player. I said, what's the song of the day today, or the group of the day? And he said, Love Jones. He loves his quarterback right now, I'll tell you that much.
You bet he does.
50-yard touchdown pass from Keldorf.
It was such a great call, because even if things didn't go well, it's going to happen way down on the other side of the field. If it happens to be an interception, it was a very safe throw. You throw it down and go for that all, and if nothing happens, you punt the ball. No big deal.
Well, last year it was a big deal when North Carolina looked like they were heading to the Alliance. And an Alliance Bowl bid when Virginia came from behind 17-3 to upset them 20-17.
What's up, babe?
And many of these players said it was their most embarrassing moment in sports. Mack Brown felt so badly, he said, for his players that they didn't win that game and get an Alliance opportunity.
Right.
And there was a lot of emotion in the North Carolina locker room last year when they lost to Virginia. I tell you what, there'll be some pent-up emotion in this one after the way the first half went and how the second half has gone in Carolina's favor. They're going to be partying a little bit in Chapel Hill tonight, I think.
Well, the good news, they came back, but the bad news is, I think, for North Carolina, they still haven't shown anybody they can run the ball.
Yep.
I think two major factors for that happening. Number one, Florida State.
Right.
Came into this conference, they beat on everybody. All the coaches knew if they had any chance to compete against them, they had to get better players, and they have. Number two, TV. TV's coming to this conference, and for the first year, 1997, the ACC will realize more money, more TV money, more money from television for football than for basketball.
Carolina with 8 men up on the line of scrimmage. Fumble again. And covered again by North Carolina. This time it's K. Mays.
This time Thomas Jones was trying to change the ball in his hands and just dropped it. And I guess if you're Virginia, you're saying, hey, we might as well make all the mistakes right now because this one's over.
Yep.
North Carolina will probably try to just run the ball and the clock out. You'll see it. Jones is going to come around, trying to change it, starts bobbling it. And then K. Mays puts one bobble right under his chin, and he never had a chance to pick it up.
And that'll make you throw your cap away.
Yeah,
George has worked that cap today, and now it's gone.
No, it's behind his head.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
I thought it was gone. Well, he's put some great teams together,
right,
and he'll put another good one together, and they'll probably end up winning 7 before it's all over.
Well, he has for the last 10 years, hasn't he?
Yep. One inside, Geeter.
As talented as Virginia is, and there's a lot of talented football players on the field for Virginia, you still can't replace experience. Virginia and Ball State had to replace the most starters in college football this year, and you can see as this game has gone along, a lot of unforced errors have happened to this Virginia team, and they've not been able to withstand the charge of a great North Carolina squad.
Back in 1987, North Carolina trailed Georgia Tech 20-3 at the half before coming back to win 30-23. Mac Brown was telling us the other day that was kind of one of his watershed games a little bit to get this program headed in the right direction. And this game today will match that comeback for a win, only this is going to be more lopsided. Touchdown. The second half has been one big Carolina blue snowball rolling downhill. Dion takes it to the end zone. Dyer for the score from 31 yards out. Josh McGee in for the point after. I almost have to pinch myself. It's 48-20. I have to look at the scoreboard. The Chevrolet most valuable players of this one with less than 3 minutes left. From Virginia, Byron Thweet, who seemed to be all over the field, and for North Carolina, a guy that was. Keith Newman, 2 fumble recoveries. He had the big pass rush that led to Dre Bly's interception return for a touchdown that turned the game around. And there's Thweet. He's going to be a good one. Newman already is. Chevrolet will donate $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students for their academic achievements and to assist those in financial need. It's been a Chevrolet tradition for more than a quarter century. Well, North Carolina showing why they're the number 2 defense in the country. They were number 2 to Michigan going into today's game, and Michigan, don't forget, follows us. At home, they'll take on Notre Dame. That one will be coming up. For those of you watching us, this guy's getting tired now.
You bet.
He almost didn't do anything in the first half. And now he's got bulging muscles all over the place by having to do that many push-ups. Schmitz to kick. North Carolina will go to 4-0 and no doubt maintain their top 5 national ranking. I've been using this high short kick all day. I guess it's working for him. It goes to the same exact spot every time. And now it's Womack on the return, and Womack weaving his way. Get a running back there of his quality that fields those And he gets out to about 46-yard line. Well, a difference a year makes, huh?
Unbelievable.
Virginia had the 17-point fourth quarter last year.
45 straight points, right?
Yep. It's North Carolina now with 21 here in the fourth quarter. And that's the difference a year makes right there.
I guess the big thing North Carolina fans are going to want to know is, yeah, we came back, we won this game, but how's Oscar?
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, Bree. How you doing?
Well, he's at least got a smile.
What's up, Sonya? Shante, what? Everybody back in St. Pete? What's up? I'm all right.
He's all right, he just said.
All right.
Obviously talking to his girlfriend.
Yeah, anytime you can talk to your girlfriend, you know you're okay.
Yep.
Now, if it was a mom thing, then you kind of worry.
Then you worry.
Yep.
Yep. If you're talking to your girlfriend, your wife's listening, it's not a good
Not a good thing.
Not a good thing.
That's more NFL stuff.
Yeah.
Than it really. It's more of a Sunday thing.
And they stop play here. 2:36 left. David Rivers has come in at quarterback for Virginia. North Carolina has held Virginia to 168 yards in this game and 38 in the second half.
Really is credible. It looked like Virginia had a pretty good scheme against them. Womack got off, was running the ball pretty effectively. But I keep going back to the fact that Virginia refused to attack with probably their best player on offense, Crowell.
Let's check in with John Saunders.
All right, guys, thanks a lot. And we want to update you on the game that's already underway between the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame and Michigan. The Wolverines ranked number 6, and in this one, Notre Dame moving the ball early, but it is still scoreless. We'll keep you up to date. Right now, back to you.
Here, 48-20 in the last couple of minutes. And penalty markers down again.
I think Billy Baber that time, the tight end, just pulled off a little too early. It's going to be another procedure penalty for Virginia.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. 5 yards. First down.
I think this is one of those where you call a 28-run rule.
Absolutely.
This is the most since 46. Remember, they'd had that stretch of 20 years where they hadn't scored 27 or more. Now 48-20 here in the last 2 minutes 33 seconds.
I think both sides would like to get out of here, shake hands, and just say we'll see you next year.
With nobody else hurt.
That's right.
Going to give off on a draw play to Womack. Womack's a bright spot, though. Absolutely. He did fumble once today. Boy, he had some big plays.
Had one mistake, but he really showed the potential he has. North Carolina, and Carl Torbush told us yesterday, he wants to get a blowout situation where he could play those young freshman linebackers, and he is having the opportunity right now as Perry and Hodge are in.
There are two more of those guys that look like huge versions of Lawrence Taylor.
I think that's Brandon Spoon that's down this time, isn't it?
You don't see him down very often, ever. Sophomore out of Burlington, North Carolina. There's LT. He wasn't 56, remember, as a Tar Heel. He was number 98. He still has a single-season sack record here of 16.
LT, I remember that name.
Oh, yeah. Didn't you throw one to him one time? We've got action stopped here with 2:19. While we giggle about it, let's check in with John Saunders.
All right, Brad, thanks a lot. Alongside Todd Blackledge, let's once again get you up to date on the Michigan-Notre Dame game. It is scoreless, and we will, of course, get you out to that game when yours is done early on. Scoreless, and Michigan has not allowed a touchdown in 1997, and the way Notre Dame has played, they might make it 3 games in a row. Ohio State over Missouri, 31-10 was the final in this one. The 2-quarterback system working.
Yeah, it worked today because Joe Germain really had a hot hand when he came in. A couple touchdowns to David Boston.
All right, now let's take you back out to Brad Nessler.
All right, John and Todd, the 2-quarterback system worked today for North Carolina, too, because Oscar Davenport, who played the majority of the game and played it brilliantly, went down with a strained knee, and Keldorf came in and, as Gary said, just put the final tally together. There's the two sitting together. He threw the 50-yard touchdown pass that permanently put this game out of reach.
Brad, give credit to Mac Brown, though, and his staff, though. He's always been committed to practicing both quarterbacks. He says both of my quarterbacks go 50-50 in practice. I've been to a lot of places where just the number one guy gets 80 to 90% of the snaps, and if you have to go to the number two guy, he's just not ready to play.
Third down here with just under 2 minutes left. 3rd and 12 for Virginia. And again, the draw play to Womack. He's going to end up with a 100-yard day, but he dropped the ball again. Got to remember to take it with you. Did he cover it?
Yeah, he has it. It's going to be 4th and just the inches for first down. Very elusive, doesn't have to slow down to make his cuts, and then if there is a bright spot, this is probably the guy. Antoine Womack going against the backups from North Carolina. Looked like he got it ripped, but held on to it and kept worming his way forward.
Take it back, Antoine. You didn't drop that one. There's going to be a lot of big games in number 8's future for the Cavaliers, without a doubt. 4th and a yard. Here he is again, and picks it up. Callister in on the tackle for North Carolina as they've got some of their backup people in there. Well, North Carolina, of course, their biggest hurdle in the ACC is going to be that Florida State game. They see some other roadblocks or possible roadblocks along the way, according to Mack. He says, you know, you can't look at like Wake Forest and think win automatically either after what happened Thursday night against North Carolina State. North Carolina State always a bloodbath with North Carolina. They've got so many rivals, it seems, and so they've got a long ways to go, but they're going to be 4-0 and an impressive 4-0 here in the next minute. 9 straight home wins at Keenan Stadium, and they will have won their 17th game in their last 19 outings. That's not too bad. And finally, these guys can say, okay, boys, we got it in the books.
It wasn't easy, and it looked dangerous in the first half.
Boy, did ever.
Virginia shot themselves in the foot just enough for the great athletes and the great players for North Carolina to take this game over.
As we said, Mack started putting this thing together here in Chapel Hill 10 years ago, and some 1-10 seasons, a couple of them. Had some folks wondering, but you got to give credit to the North Carolina folks in sticking with him, and Mack stuck with his plan and said, just give me 5 years, I'll get this thing going in the right direction. I'm talking about serious direction, like maybe good enough to win it all. They win it today with a huge second half, and everybody running on the field.
They stopped the clock to set the chains, but I bet Virginia doesn't even run another play.
I don't think they will either. I think they'll just move things out of here. George looking on. I don't know. Maybe we will have a pass. No, it's over. So what a comeback by North Carolina. 45 unanswered points. They win it 48-20 over the Cavaliers of Virginia. For Gary Danielson and Dean Blevins, Brad Nessler saying so long from Chapel Hill, where the Tar Heels go to 4-0 and uphold their number 5 national